Greetings, gamers. This is Jared Leopold coming to you live from his house here in Iowa City. So if you have to track me down because you absolutely hate what I'm doing, that's where I'm at. We are sticking with Honorbound. We're gonna do a whole campaign until it crashes and burns, the rules don't work, or it turns into this awesome, blossoming, beautiful, epic story that I'm hoping that it does with the little guidelines we put together in the rule book. Thanks everyone for backing Honorbound. If you haven't backed Honorbound, take a look for it. We'll have the PDF. I'm hoping out in a couple months. I do want to let you know it might take longer, only because of this. So we finally got paid like a couple days ago from Kickstarter. So then what we do, then we take those funds and then we get formal contracts with the artists that we're working for. We've got a couple artists, we got a layout artist as well and I've got a little bit more writing that I need to finish up on. And so then we send those contracts. I've gotten all my contracts sent out back already, but now it's going to take them time to do the art. In one case, Fernando Salvatierra has got 15 different pieces of art he's going to do for the book. So it's going to be a little bit, then plus layout after we get the art and all that stuff. So just let you know, that's how the process works. These poor guys that are just doing the play testing don't care. They don't need to know any of that stuff. So what we're gonna do? Last week we did some world building. There is one step part of the world building that I didn't do last week that I want to finish up with you guys real quick. And if you take a look at your character sheet, I've added the campaign builder button on there. And there's now two slots. So each of you have to come up with two things, including myself, of what locations do you want to see while you're adventuring, or what planets do you want to see in your world? What like in your head, we've already come up with the tones in the NPCs. Like, well, where are they going to be located at? Now, one of the things, like, I'll start with it's on here. I'll start under locations or planet. So I want to see more, I think, like a holy site. I'm going to go off a little bit of what Aaron was kind of talking about last week with like the clergy and the religious stuff. I think there's a couple of neat opportunities because what does a holy site look like in this weird sci-fi world now? Especially with so many different beliefs getting kicked around, like whether the AI robots created the essence or the weave has always been there, what call, all that sort of stuff. So I will go around uh just as it's listed here. We'll start with Eric. And it can be anything. It's like starship, like a specific part on a starship or whatever.
Sure. Uh, how about like a massive urban center, like very like populated. Uh, it could be a space station. It could be a planet, but the idea where there's like millions of people all like in one concentrated area with lots of different um, locations like industrial, commercial, like everything's all packed into one.
So you
Just
want
on top.
like a megaopolis sort of thing.
I like that, and it can also be like a. It doesn't have to necessarily be billions of people, but it could just be like this really concentrated area of a ton of people in a small space too. Like a
Yeah.
space station will kind of do that, or like a planet that is not particularly inhabitable, planet wide, but there is like that bubble that just has like a shit ton of people.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, love it. All right. Rachel, do you have an idea of what you want to see? And it can be something big or it can be something small, like a
Sure.
bar. I really like to be in a bar, you know?
Sure. No, I was gonna say part of what Eric was saying. I was gonna say like a space station that is like its own like this is where the people live and work and play. It's not a like a ship moving from one planet to another. It is like its own contained civilization that is completely man-made. Man-made would be like sentient creature made.
Could be. Yeah. Do you want a sentient station?
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Sentient.
Not what I was thinking. I was just trying to say, like, well, we're not humans, so it's not really man made. So I was just trying to come up with what
Oh,
we call ourselves. But yeah, I like the way
sorry.
you think.
Yeah, I just heard like, well, it's not gonna be man-made. I'm like, yeah, it's probably it's alive, sure. Okay,
No, I
great.
meant to say it is man made, but in our world, that would not be the term we would use. But I
Sure.
like it.
Okay.
Sentient. Yeah.
Perfect. Aaron, what do you think? What would you like to see?
I would like to see some of the old abandoned corpse spaces where the corporations used to run things, and maybe it's been overtaken by scavengers who are, sort of stripping away the valuables, or maybe those have already been taken in the years since the corporate wars ended. I would like to see what it was they left behind.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, there's a lot of rich stuff in the history-wise, and also like, yeah, these are your modern day dungeons, right? There's going to be traps in there, and like trying to find the forbidden knowledge or whatever's left behind or whatever AI stuff. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I like that. I want to, for my second site that I want to see, I really like the space station idea because we're going to do stuff a little bit with that in a couple coming up, I think. Let's see now. I keep thinking like if we're three musketeers, like some sort of like castle, right? And so like the location is I really like the idea of we did it in our very first early play testing stuff, um, where we had those everyone had their own like a motorcycle, but they were called the not Mustangs. Were they called Mustangs? I can't. No, not Mustangs. Chargers. They're called Chargers and stuff like that. I really like that idea with that. So like I love the idea of like a castle with the Charger stables, which is actually mechanics, right? Like it's just where mechanics go and hang out, and that's a good place to go talk about like, oh, I need a piece, like maybe they know what the junkyards are around there. They might even be a little bit more like merchants because you got like trinkets that you trade there too. That's something. Okay, Eric, what would you like to see for your second place?
Uh, kind of on that, and maybe the space opera version of the castle is the ship.
Hmm.
Just like Firefly, like the ship is like just so cool, and the Millennium Falcon is so cool, and I love that base of operations that players can have that you
Yeah.
sort of make your own, and uh, you modify it, and some of the most fun I've had with players in like Starship sort of campaigns is when they modify the ship and it has like nothing to do mechanically to it at all. Like we killed this weird creature and we're gonna mount its skull in the ship and put a bar underneath it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of weird stuff. And it's always there. And it adds like character and personality. And I don't
Sure.
know, like it really feels like home, right? Like I love having your own ship. It's so much fun.
Okay. And that's interesting too, because in this world, you guys don't really have a home, right? You're constantly transient living within the system where as long as you do your job, wherever you stay, it's paid for, right? So yeah, having your own place is the luxury of the super elite that need it, you know? But that could be something to go for, or maybe go out into the free city states, like where that's a lot more common, you know? Yeah, interesting. Rachel, what would you like to see for locations or places or planets or whatever?
Um, you mentioned passing something about a market, and that made me think markets are fun, particularly like a black market kind of place.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Yep. Especially like spies are totally a thing, in this world. Like we definitely need a black market somewhere. We got to figure out what that looks like and what it has to do with people. Probably a crime lord somewhere in there. Okay. Yeah. Love it. Easy one. And Aaron, I would like to finish this off here.
I want us to be on the frontier where it's wild, right? Like it takes a special kind of person to go and I don't like to use the word settle because it has all sorts of implications, but to like live on the edge of the known universe because you don't know what's out there. There's sentient creatures that we've never met. Is it just sort of wild and savage? Is it beautiful and strange? Are there new minerals and sort of vistas, or is it just gritty and crumbling more desert worlds with the same old asteroid feel to them? I kind of think it's probably the first, but yeah, the really rugged sentient beings who go to live in that space and the just wild stuff they find there.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. One of your jobs will end up being, yeah, let's get you out to there to the frontier, acting as pioneers, exploration. So, like before the company wars came to an end, like most of known space that you could reach had been explored, right? Not that any of the local populace would know that, right? The companies explored it because they're looking for resources. And if they found resources, they were sent there to pillage those resources, take it back. So then when the AI profits arose, tore everything apart, is that like you don't know what's left out there. Like people could have been abandoned out there in the frontier with these resources, or like it's been explored once, but now no one even knows that it's there. So yeah, I love the idea of the austere frontier to explore and to check out because it's sci-fi, right? If what was that super weird show on HBO? It won a bunch of awards. It'll probably only be one season. It's animated, and it was the most beautiful, gross thing that I've ever seen. And it was all just this spaceship crashes on this planet, and they have to try and figure out a way to get back. It's just like how nature is. Everyone was like, "Oh, nature's so beautiful." No, man, it's brutal and gross, man. So yeah, that sounds like fun. We can definitely do something with these locations. And one nice thing with these locations is that we can now attach maybe some of these NPCs that you guys want to meet too to these locations. So now we can start looking for these different areas and just put them on the map, which we'll get to the map maybe a couple adventures from now. Right now we're not even using it, and that's okay. So thank you for that. Just finishing that up for our building it out. All right. So we have not actually gamed in quite a bit. We've talked about theory, we've talked about building our covenant, talked about our campaign. All right, so I have just finished up. I think I really like what's happened here, putting the finishing touches, so much so that it may totally alter how the games function. The overarching function may change, but we'll see how this goes. All right, I sent out handouts a while ago, and even those handouts have gotten updated at this point. Um, Here is, let me pull up the chat box. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So in the little chat box, I put in this is what the cycle of a full escapade. So I'm calling the adventures escapades at this point. Escapades linked together is your saga. And like with the calamity and facing it down, to get multiple sagas. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do as a group, this is just going to be brainstorming stuff. that I'm going to write down for things or places that maybe we want to visit. That's why I wanted to go back and take a look at some of those location things to kind of get our ideas going. So we're starting this from blank. Okay. We're going to do the first step. The first step is called advance the warp. Each person is going to come up with something that's happening in the universe that has nothing to do with you guys. Okay. Now, it may have been affected by things that you've done already. That could be. And what we're going to do in the future, every time we start up a new session, is that you can introduce a new thing into the universe, or you can move one of the things that already exists down a track and have it evolve in some way. So, well, I'll start because I know one thing that we already put out there that we're doing is that there is a whole planet of antimatter. So this is an example of something, right? There's an anti-essence planet at the edge of the universe. Okay? That is in existence. We know that's in existence, and we're going to talk about it in future. And that's all I'm going to do. That's it for my part. In the future, we'll describe it, it'll get bigger and change and whatnot. So we got the anti-essence planet is one thing. I don't want to put anyone on the spot. Just volunteer once you know something. As far as an idea of little guidelines I was putting in, if you're having struggling thinking of stuff, there are 5 different um, changes within a society. So you do like there's a cultural change, there's an environmental change, which could be a lot of different things, right? It could be the actual environment. It could be new flora, fauna on a planet somewhere, right? It could be just a new planet pops up or a planet's falling apart, right? So environmental. There's religious changes. This is the part where I'm going to start working on a Steam example. Yep, don't remember. It's written down somewhere. It's not that part's not fully done. So yeah, does anyone have something that's happening in the universe that we're just going to write down so our universe is a living thing?
There are 2 Zooey factions that have gone to war on a planet. Uh, a aquatic Zooey and land based. Uh, over resources, and
So
it threatens certain trade options for the planets in the system.
okay, threatens trade, and so then these are probably free city states then.
I
Yeah,
would think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Love it. Perfect. There's a war going on that's threatening trade.
George Lucas would be proud.
Yes. Yes, he would. I mean, there's no end. Yeah. Aaron?
Some dude calling himself the voice of the cosmos has introduced a new technology, and he's just blasting tunes through the whole known universe simultaneously, and nobody can figure out how he's doing it or where he is. But
I love
basically,
it.
they all agree he's just got a badass mix going.
Is it like lost music, new music, old music?
Ooh. It's eclectic, right? It's eclectic. So he, at different times he has things that appeal to different groups of people. So it seems like he's really got his finger on the pulse of the universe. And so even though I don't like Harven music, like they seem to love it. So that's super cool. Like when he plays the music that my people love, like he's really got it nailed down. Um, He doesn't talk about politics or commerce or Zuli factions or anything yet.
Yeah, perfect. He's called the voice of technology. Is basically a universal pirate
He's
radio.
the voice of the cosmos.
The voice of the cosmos.
Cosmos.
Thank you,
Yeah.
cosmos. Love it. Okay, great. And let me feel, what else is going on in our universe?
Well, I was also thinking a music route, but I was gonna say there's like a Bonnaroo level like music festival of some kind that is just like all of the music lovers getting together to see their favorite artists in person.
Yeah, I love that for the kind of world that we're building, right? Like the arts are
Mhm.
highly treasured, and we're getting ready for a massive.
And maybe because there's a war going on, it's more like peace, love, and music. What? Why can't I think of the name of that festival right now? I'm drawing a blank.
I I
Come on,
don't want to
Woodstock?
link. I don't want to link anything yet.
Okay, that's fine. I was just.
But
Sorry. What'd you say, Eric?
You're talking about Woodstock?
Yeah, Woodstock. Why couldn't I come up with the word Woodstock? I don't know.
It's very famous. I don't blame you.
But like, we don't have to link it to the war, but it's also meant to be like a you can come from anywhere and it's okay.
right, it's more like a peaceful message, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, just those little things will be interesting how they mold into this. So we've now advanced the warp. Okay. Now we're going to reflect and rejuvenate. First thing you do, take your health and honor, put it to the max number. All right. Which is 9, I think, for everyone.
Which is 9. Okay, just making sure that is 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then I have put in a new thingamabobber for downtime segments. So during Reflect and Rejuvenate, you have 2 actions that you can take that is listed in the chat up here that I posted. Just click on that and it gives you your options. Now, remember, just got items for the first time ever. You can spend one of those downtimes taking care of your item, or for free, you can pay someone else to upkeep your item, right? Because owning your own stuff beyond what you need, it's not a foreign concept. It just people don't do it, right? If you own stuff beyond your needs, you got to pay for it. So you can just pay someone one trinket to be like, all right, if you don't have any trinkets, you can change a jewel out. 1 jewel equals 5 trinkets. So you can just pay someone to take care of it for you, or you can do that. Going down the list of things, you can bond. You can say, like, you know what, I'm going to do a little vignette of how I'm going to bond with this person. Your target number is the square that you're on, not the square you're going to. Okay. So if you're on a 1, you only need to do a 5 to bump it up 1. Okay. Pretty easy to do for most people. All right. The next one is to meditate or rest. If you have a status that is carried over, like statuses don't go away unless they are ones like covered in oil. Well, I'll take a shower. Yeah, okay, now it's gone. But there's going to be statuses like we're going to run into a couple of them this adventure that they're just going to stay with you unless you do something about it. Okay. They could be positive things or negative things. You can tell your untold story for one of them. I don't like that one as much for the downtime, and I don't know if I'll keep it in there, honestly. You've got your upkeep your gear, which you can do. And then you can do things for money. Okay, you go bounty hunting, legacy hunting, or negotiate. You notice each one of those has a skill next to it with the number 8. However much you go above the number 8, that's how many trinkets you earn. Okay. However, anything below 8, that's how much damage you take for that you got injured on the job. And you can apply that to either honor or health, your call. You can divide it up however you want. So like if you just roll like 5 ones, you're going to take 6 damage. Now, the odds of that happening are pretty low, but, you know, it could happen. And then finally, if you don't want to use both of your actions, you can pocket one of those downtime actions to save it for the prelude of the escapade. So before, like we've done, like, well, I'm going to do research on this. Well, now, if you want to do research on adventure before you jump into it, you got to save that time that you didn't use during reflection and rejuvenation. You can save both of them if you want to. It's totally up to you. So here's our new look at what we can do for downtime. This may be even just too much for even doing this. We don't even need this step, but here's the reason for those watching of why I like doing this is because they have pools to fill, and so do I. I want tension points. They want saga points. This is an easy way to do it to try and seed the pools for those early on to do 1 or 2 rolls and call it a day. So we'll see. We'll do this for a couple of adventures, see how it works. All right. Who feels? I'm going to put Aaron on the spot. Do you know what you'd like to do? One or both of your segments?
Yeah, so I will pay. You said one trinket to upkeep uh my stuff. So I'll put that one out there. Mr. Crystal would like to take Ludwika out for space coffee, and he's gonna actually. His goal in this conversation is to bond by listening because he's finding that people seem to object when he shows them the better way to be. So he's going to try to just learn what it is that Ludwika wants out of life so that instead of pushing her there and helping her see the right path, yeah, he's got to practice this.
Love it. Ludwika, is that acceptable? So this doesn't take up any of your time, but you can also just resist this and have it be an opposed roll if you want it to be. Still muted? What?
Oh, there it goes. It wasn't unmuting. Like I was like tapping and I was tapping the camera and it wasn't turning the camera on and off. Like tapping wasn't working. Anyway, nobody can hear me. So listening would not work very well if you can't hear me. Yes, this is acceptable. Although I would say Ludwika is probably not someone who talks about herself frequently or just like talks for the sake of talking. So I appreciate the sentiment, and yet it might turn into a pretty awkwardly silent cup of space coffee.
What, like, yes, we can do better than this. What is space coffee? If we say
So
spoofy,
Starbucks. Wait.
yes.
I mean,
So I think it's something that we as modern humans would find a little objectionable. You remember in Dune when one of the Harkonnen crushed some little thing in a little jar and then he sipped it like it was some sort of delicacy. I think there's some sort of like little living creature that is just, not at all sentient, but absolutely delicious. And so something we would all find a little gross and Harkonnen-ish, but space coffee is amazing.
It gives you an instant energy jolt. I mean, it's like a Red Bull, like, yeah, fancy energy drinks. Like, even more so than coffee for caffeine.
Maybe to make it less objectionable, it's like a little seed pod that gets crushed. How about that? Would that be less Baron Harkonnen?
perfect. It's your guys' world. So yeah, you just crush this little thing. Okay. Yeah, perfect. We'll call it a pod. No one's ever used that with coffee before. Um, Rush. I'll work on it. I don't know. Okay. So you've set up what you wanted. You set up how it is, and I really like this idea is that you both meet at the same time, and it's just kind of awkward. You don't know how to communicate effectively yet, and Ludwika doesn't communicate because she's guarded,
Cautious.
right?
I
Cautious.
believe my cautious is my word.
Yeah, she's still cautious. So it's a little awkward, but the time spent together, go ahead and make that roll.
So so I'm sitting at level 1, which is a target number of 5.
Yep.
What is it that I roll on with that?
I think it's going to be panache, and most of the time that when you do this, it's going to be your weave because you're trying to build up a relationship.
Okay. So the networking one. Oof. Well, this might not actually work all that well. All right, we'll see how it goes.
But you just need a 5, he says. Like, hey, two
Okay.
dice. Hey, and you got a saga point too. Good job. Uh, Perfect.
Oh no, I didn't. You got a tension point.
You got a tension point.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
got a 10 point. Thank you. I've been playing Cursed Riders too much. All right. Perfect. Yeah, I got a tension point. Awesome. Thank you. Do you want to tell me how that ends? Or you just want to pan away like you both, while it was awkward, the camera pans away, but you've learned something about the human condition. Something like that.
Ludwig, what do you think? I did an okay job of networking, not amazing, didn't absolutely crush it out there, but did okay. Is Was it that I learned something about you, or was it that you feel less cautious about about this now that I've reached out? Like, what would you see as the outcome of this?
Yep.
Hmm. I think, I mean, maybe a little bit of both. Like any misgivings I maybe had about you, I'm realizing are just because you are not aware.
I mean,
Um, I probably knew that, but like we haven't just like sat down and had pod drink before. So trying to like sit there and be like, "Oh, he doesn't know how to like ask conversation questions." Oh, okay. Like
Yeah, I
and
think
I
100% I printed something out on like how to start a conversation.
like you have like a list of like topics, like conversation starter questions like what was your favorite childhood TV show?
okay, perfect. So Mr. Crystal can move up from the 1 to a 2 for the bond with Ludwika. So that's one of your actions. Aaron, what would you like to do for one of your actions?
Uh, did you want me to do I do both of mine and then we go around each doing two, or do we go
If you
around
have
each
your second one
one?
ready to go, yeah.
I want to do thank you, Ludwika. I think I'm gonna go try to make some money.
Okay. What job are you gonna do?
I think the easiest thing for me would be like loading and unloading cargo and just sort of using my strength to move some stuff around. So yeah, I'm gonna do some day labor kind of stuff.
Okay. Not available for you. Other
Okay.
people already have that job. You have to choose from this list of dangerous things that people don't want to do.
Oh no, did you post that list? I may be
I
missing it.
did. If you go into the chat and at this point scroll up just a little bit,
Yep.
bounty hunting, legacy hunting, or negotiate. So bounty hunting is, well, going to get something or someone. Uh, well, no,
I'm
it's
clearly
usually
looking at the wrong.
someone or something that's alive, right? A beast or a person. Legacy hunting is like your dungeon delving, or negotiate. You're acting as a go-between,
Okay.
whether it's
Legacy
legal
hunting
or
for
not.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Legacy hunting then.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Go ahead and make that roll, and you tell me. what you did.
All right. So, and I am not seeing. I'm clearly missing something in the chat. Is it in the
Okay,
text channel or in the chat?
so under this window that we're on, the chat in the upper right hand corner.
Yep.
Okay, so you scroll up. There is a a picture. It's called downtime segment.
I'm clearly in the wrong space.
Do you know where note new sheet? Do you see that?
Oh, so not show chat.
Under general, open chat.
Feeling so. Oh, geez, right over there. Oh my God.
That's okay.
Okay. No.
I've totally done that since the general chat and the like chat for the channel are two different spots. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, where are the two chats at?
No. No, we're just gonna
I
use
will
the
come show
one.
you, Eric. Well, Aaron makes some money. I will show you what we're talking about.
Thank you, Rachel. All right. So you're gonna do some legacy hunting.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. What are you doing? Crew, lore, valor. I mean, yeah, you tell me what you're doing to narrate what the role that you want. This is designed for you to use your best stuff if you want to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I can do some crew vigor kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So you're like
Um,
piloting something or you're manning a gun on a ship, like
yeah. No. So. Yeah. No. I think I'm kind of a hired tough for some of this, right? Like, I'm gonna be going in. We're gonna land. We gotta sweep in. It's not a bank robbery, but it's gonna be a smash and grab.
okay.
Which feels a little wrong, but they assure me that this is their stuff we're getting back.
Right.
So we're like busting into somebody's clubhouse HQ joint. Sort of, there's a lot more guns than I expected. They grab a box and we get the hell out of there. And there's a pretty ugly fist fight that I have to weigh into.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. And I hope it goes well. 11. And yeah, we each get a point out of that one.
Yep, we each get a point. And so 11 out of 8, so you get 3 trinkets.
Nice.
There you go. So they pay you off. Good job. Thanks for weighing in. We'll keep in touch. If you want to write down who you did that job with, maybe something we can work on in the future. All right. Eric, do you know what you want to do?
Did we say that maintaining a trinket is that like one action out of the two?
So for your gear, you can either
Yeah.
take care of it yourself, which is free. It just takes one of your things.
Okay.
Uh, or you can pay someone one trinket and it doesn't take any time to do so.
That's what I did. I paid a trinket just to take care of
Okay.
my thing for me.
Yeah,
So then
so
I
you
have
get-
two things.
Yep.
I definitely want to save one for the prelude.
Okay.
Um, Gareth is definitely having like an existential crisis about like who he is and what these things
Sure.
mean. And he like goes and looks for Mr. Crystal and he can't find him, and he goes to look for Ludwika and like discuss, maybe talk with her, can't find her, and like sort of like just starts walking around and sees them like having their own conversation over pods, and like slow, like sad Charlie Brown walks away, like I'm not even part of the group anymore. I'm not even sure if I'm a real person anymore. So I'm just gonna go bounty hunt.
Okay. Now I said this offhandedly and I shouldn't have said anything about it. Well, you're thinking about your untold story quite a bit. Do you want to advance your untold story? You can if you want to, because what I've done is that once you get to the end of the untold story, you have to do a conflict to be able to pass it. And if you do, we're going to talk about your trait that you currently have, which right now is guarded, right?
Right.
So if you notice on your character sheets, all of your traits now are flaws and they count against you if they think they come up during role playing where it's like, you know what, it's going to be minuses. This is going to come up, right? Now, if you complete your untold story, you can flip that to being a good thing. So it gives you a bonus, right? And other things happen too. Untold story, you get a new one and all that. So if you'd like to advance your untold story, which you have 5 segments of it, if you want to look into it, you certainly can.
I think I probably would.
Yeah.
It's definitely on Gareth's mind, so sure.
Perfect. So the target number is 9. So tell me exactly what you're doing to do this research into what you're doing or looking
Yeah.
for.
I think this is a strong find clues sort of situation. I'm going through computer databases, trying to compile a bunch of information, and with the things that I know now, cross-referencing some things, and just trying to get a stronger lead for what I think is the case.
Yeah, 100%. Like you have the address and everything that Green gave you, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Green. Yeah. So that's something you can work on those clues. So yeah. So inquiry for sure. And how are you doing? Are you just like getting on the lace and doing research there? Are you gonna? Okay.
Just doing lay stuff right now, just to sort of verify what I've been told seems legit or not.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
I don't. Looks like I'm out of saga points right now. Is that right?
You should have 0 because we're starting over.
There you go. So, congratulations,
sorry.
you get another point.
Sorry, everyone should get 1. Everyone should start with 1. I apologize.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
And is am I going for 9?
Yeah, you only need to get a 9. So
Great. Then I have 11.
okay, so just like any untold story, you're gonna tell what did you find, and then if you want to twist, you can earn a unity point by each of us expanding onto the story, giving it a complication.
Sure.
And it can be just as simple as I've got the address. I know I can get in by doing this and this, or like it can be a very simple one. It doesn't have to be super complex.
Because the address that I had said that's a place where things happened, where literally that research is being done.
Yeah, where research was happening, and you know for a fact it was in a free city state.
Okay. I think that address is there, and it is definitely a it's a barbershop. It's like a salon. And digging a little bit deeper, I found out that's a front. And that whatever that research was is there are persons that are running the salon that have a front, but the research goes beyond that and literally deeper into the building. And so you just can't like walk in and be like, oh, I'm here to check out your research. Like you have to be able to like fight your way through the salon first, which scares me more. That actually that it's not. It's set up to really draw you out if you show up and
Perfect.
want to know about any sort of science. Um,
Yeah. Nope. Super easy. Love it. That's a way so you moved it forward. So on your sheet, you write in, okay, here's what's going on with my untold story so far. Does anyone want to jump in with a twist? I've got a couple ideas for it. But does anyone else?
Jared, am I at 3 now with that?
I believe so. Let me check. Let's see. Yes, this will put you at 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so now you see those numbers next to there. Now you're getting into the hard ones where about the only time you're going to be able to forward your untold story is after building up some saga points to be able to do it during an adventure. Anyone have a twist they want to offer up? So remember, a twist is a complication to a story that just makes it worse. Pretty much. I'll throw it out here real quick. Here's my twist is that I mean, obviously, obviously, it comes back with the tied to a tech company called Raven Tech and someone's name that you know is on it. Nope, you're muted.
That's because I mouthed it. It says Ludvika.
Yes. Now that's just my twist. You don't have to take mine. Other people will have other twists.
Okay.
And if no one else has a twist, that's fine. This is supposed to be a fun thing to do. And
Quick question.
yes,
Do you still have the mugwump hanging around?
I set the mugwump free.
Oh, when you get back, the mugwump is sitting on your couch.
Oh, you
Yes.
killed me.
Gareth, I
Great.
need your help.
Aaron, I love the mugwump, and thank you so much for reintroducing him into this campaign. Gareth is like, oh, really? Really?
so we're saying that Reginald II has something to do with the AI testing.
Obviously, he does.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm doing.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
a lot of sense to me. I'm in.
Okay. So then what does this mean for the complication? It means that whenever you do something with your untold story, the mugwump now has to go along. And it's going to be much more of a bodyguard type situation, except for mystical stuff. I'll have to come up with more stats for him and whatnot. Okay, perfect. So then earn a unity point for the group now that Reginald II's back. All right. Rachel, what do you want to do for your relaxation, reflection, and rejuvenation?
Yeah. I think I should make some money. Pull that up again.
Mhm.
Um, oh, actually, I would take care of my gear. So explain that one more time. If I do it myself, it's gonna be one of my things. But if I pay somebody
Correct.
else to do it, it doesn't. Okay. No,
Yep.
I think I am very particular about my microscope, and I take care of my microscope real well.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So that's one of your things. What do you want to do with the other one?
I also probably want to save it for research related to whatever we're about to
For the
do.
prelude?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. And thus ends the new reflect and rejuvenate part. Does that feel good to everyone?
Do I have to do anything to upkeep my microscope? It says a weave 8. No. I mean, yeah. Am I supposed to do a roll?
Do you have to? Oh, you do. You do have to do a weave 8. Okay.
Okay. So,
Right, because I wanted to make sure
tap.
everyone rolled something. So I guess, yeah, you can mess it up, I guess, or just make it so you're unable to use your
Weave.
equipment for this escapade.
Sure. So, but I get to pick what
Yeah, yeah. How are you doing the
row.
upkeep on it? Like vigor would be like shining it up. Wits would be
Making sure all the pieces are working properly, like all the
yeah.
gears and stuff. Yeah, I will do wits.
Okay. Wits and weave. Need an 8. Okay, perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you
no
guys.
tension. Yeah, we've given
I
you lots of tension
I
and no
appreciate
saga
that.
for us.
Okay. Now, you did something though, and I'm curious. I'll probably save it there, but you rolled a 3 of a kind. Okay. Now,
Oh,
once we get into rolling into the actual adventure part, we'll try and keep track of these and see if I can do what I want to do with them or if I need to do something different. All right. So now we've done this part. Now we jump into the escapade. The last time we left is that Sapphire Crux had contacted uh, the group to meet him somewhere in person. He invites you out to Westport, which is a Grand Alliance thing overlooking Dagger Falls. If you take a look at the map, you don't have to. It's there. Trust me. So he invites to meet you out there. He will pay for your mag train sort of thing once he gets out there. All right. So for the two people, so Ludwika and Gareth Karr, you can both go, or just one of you goes. The only reason I'm bringing that up is that because you both have a prelude action, right? And if you want to do it to him right when he's there, you'll have to be there at the meeting. Otherwise, you can just take the information and then do your research on your own.
We should just both go, right?
Okay.
How's Mr. Crystal? Like, is he okay? Luika? You seem really quiet. Yeah. You know what? I know you're not really much for talking, so I guess I'll do all the talking. Um, just seems that.
sorry,
Hey,
I'm on a different device tonight. My computer died, and so I'm on my iPad and I'm
Mm,
trying to like screen share or like split screen. So anyway, apparently Discord does not like me splitting screen on my iPad. So it wasn't letting me unmute again. Anyway, Mr. Crystal was fine. What are you talking? What's that about?
no, I mean, I don't care. I just saw you guys potting, and I was just,
Oh, yeah, he invited me out. I think he still feels bad about that time he kind of just like picked me up and carried me out. Um,
that was a long time ago.
I know, but I think he's trying to learn a little bit more about how to be around people outside of wherever he came from. I think it's still hard for him. So any help we can give him is probably beneficial. But he did spend the whole time listening instead of trying to convert me. Um, because I know he often will just try to get people to believe whatever. needs to be blue and orange, which is great when it's the thing we need them to believe. But in that moment, we were just getting a social cup of pods,
Right.
and I don't think that would be the right time to be converted. So I've been in those scenarios before, and I don't like the deceptive cup of coffee, cup of pods.
There is a time to be converted, though.
No, probably not. But also, a friendly cup of pods is definitely not the time.
Sure.
That feels like a bait and switch.
Sure.
So
Sure. And we all have souls, right? Nope, here's our stop. Bing.
But the trickling of the rain that's coming from outside into this dark, dank tunnel that you're waiting for Sapphire Crux as you ask that question, suddenly a kind of flare comes off, like, oh, that must be him. As he comes, like, oh, thank you for meeting me here in such this dreadful conditions, like down here. You see, he's a little bit worse for wear. Um, he, you're not quite sure whether it's because he isn't drinking as much. He hasn't had access to being able to go out and party as much as he used to. But he seems just a little bit more worn down, and he's got that facial tick that just hasn't really quite gone away. And he's like, "Oh, you, you have to help me. I, I have the money, and I feel like you owe me since I wouldn't be in this situation if you hadn't done your job in the first place for my
We
parents."
saved you. Remember that part where we saved you?
I was partying. I was having fun. But I need, okay, I need you to kidnap me.
All right.
Okay. Not now. Not now. Not now. He it has to be it has to be at this thing. All right. I think it'd be easier if I just explain everything to you. Okay. There is an upcoming vote to decide whether to give the Free City State Ambergris um a seat at the table for their old company vessels. They have access to these old company warships built in some highly classified warehouses that apparently can make the trip to the Warp Red. The Warp Red is what they're calling the anti essence planet.
Mm.
Now, my parents, as one of the Foreign Trade Board members, have suggested to combine the Great House of Crooks and the city-state of Ambergris into a hybrid guild. But in order to secure the deal, they're offering my hand in marriage. This is why I need you to kidnap me in front of a crowd. You know, I'll, of course, I'll have to fight you off, but I'll make it look good. Uh, you know, So my folks just have to convince Cardinal Charnay. She's the swing vote on the whole board, uh, and will only be swayed by some sort of divine resolution. But it sounds like she's already seen the light, and my fate is sealed into this marriage.
How are we not going to get hunted down as
Sir,
kidnappers?
Well, that's what you do. You do the job, and then you just go back to wherever you came from.
not that easy.
Agreed.
Well, I don't know. I've never done this before. You're the criminals.
Uh,
Criminal is a strong word.
yeah, we're not criminals. We're
Oh, sorry, rebels, as everyone likes to say it. Yes, we understand. If there weren't for rebels, we'd still be under company rule. And yes, we owe everything to the rebels, but you're also criminals.
if we say no, you just have to marry this broad one way or the other, right? So as I'm thinking about it, it sounds like you need us, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ah, sir, his face facial tics, just like "Ah,
That's
ah,
what
ah."
I
One of the
kiddo.
cogs pops out of his augmented side of his head.
I'll pick it up and I'll slam it back in his temple and be like, "That's right, kid. So you need our help, and so
I
we can help you."
I do.
If
I
you
do.
give us a valid way out of repercussions.
Well, I don't. Just as long as you make sure that no one sees your face, right? The what? Look, there's
What
this. The ceremony's happening in 2 days. Okay, on the vessel. They're bringing in one of the warships, and
that's
that's
going to go to Warp Red.
yes, yes. So the Grand Alliance has the resources to be able to put into these ships, but we don't have any ships that will have the integrity to make it to the Warp Red. But Ambergey does.
This sounds like a good union for you guys. Why are you so opposed to this thing?
We don't want to get married.
All right, we kidnap you. Where are you going to go? What are you supposed to do?
Oh, just I have friends in places. You can
All
stay
right,
with us for a while.
But then
get
won't word spread that you're just hanging out with your friends partying and you'll just end up having to come back and marry this girl anyway?
Yeah, two
I
things happen when you get kidnapped, dumbass. You either get ransomed or you get killed. So what's the end of this that you
For
foresee?
you.
you, if you kidnap me, they'll just have to do something different. That's how.
So this is
I only need
temporary.
I only need to be gone for like a week or so.
Hmm. Well,
Now, oh,
this is like a jewel by day situation, I think, right, Ludwika? Like the longer that we keep him safe, the more jewels he owes us, right?
For sure.
oh, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Now we're talking, kiddo.
How
Whatever
are
it
you
takes.
acquiring these
Money.
jewels? Isn't it mommy and daddy's money?
Just offload it onto the transfer. You'll be paid for a year at least.
A year? A year of jewels?
Now, so what that means is that you never have to do anything. As long as you're in the Grand Alliance, you just live the life of leisure for a whole year, never having to take a dangerous job at all. Which pretty good deal, right?
Really, actually,
Um,
yeah.
If he can actually follow through on it.
that's also fair. And you have to stay in the Grand Alliance, right?
Yeah.
So, that being said, is there anything that you guys want to do? You can each do one conflict check to do some research, get some information, or whatever. Now he's here, so you can ask him point blank certain things, and some of it I'll just give it to you. Some stuff he just doesn't know, and some stuff we'll do a check for. And assumably, Aaron, if you want to help out with this too, your character's not there, but you're all kind of part of it.
I would definitely want to know, like, this event that we're kidnapping him from or before or whatever. Like, if there's a specific venue that we need to know, layouts and any like really pertinent information, like for sure, like as much as that as possible, I'd want to know.
Oh, sure, sure. He lets you know that it's on. So they do these. This event is just called the Promenade. Okay, it's a very stylized dance ball sort of thing. The vote doesn't actually happen here. Okay, but everything that's decided about the vote happens here. The vote later on, it's already been decided here at the Promenade. Okay. So it is all these dignitaries, representatives from all over getting together to have this party. But it's really just politics, per usual. And it's being held on the deck of the Leviathan warship. That's not the name of it. That is the class of warship that it is, which makes it the size of a small space station. It is massive, but open deck. Okay. And they're going to do everything formal on the open deck.
To make this legit, Sapphire, you're going to need to provide us with a yacht that we're coming in on.
Okay. Give me, and this will be kind of like your cover or your escape
Yeah.
plan cover.
Both. Definitely both.
Okay. You're looking for a yacht. Give me a check versus 9. I'm going to say the better you roll, the better vessel it is.
Now we're talking. And is this me trying to convince him that we need a good vessel?
It's up to you. If there's a different narrative, like I'm going to go talk to this guy that I know that has vessels. You
I
know,
mean, I think it's Sapphire Crux is rich, powerful. To rescue him, the reward would be more wealth than I could imagine. And so I'm going to try to convince him
Yeah.
that he needs to make sure that we have this amazing vessel so we can show up on the Leviathan class warship and not be suspect. So
Okay.
we show up in a piece of shit, they're going to know that we're not legit. So I'm going to
100%.
try to charm him into thinking that.
Love it. Financial charm.
Here we go. No, that's not right. Let's do this. Better. Okay. Well, I get a saga point. I'm going to immediately spend it so I get a 15.
All right. Oh, pardon me. Hi, what's up? You lost another 2?
So many teeth.
No. Here, come here. He loves to do this. We are now getting close. Look right here.
What's up, Jack Skeleton? Looking good
Yeah.
there.
And this is also the universe that she drew for you guys. This is the Honorbound
Cool.
universe.
Is that big
Very
red
cool.
spot where we're all going to meet our end? I'm
Probably.
guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Warp red.
oh, hold on. Make sure you give that to mommy. And then she also drew herself as a space princess.
Yeah. Is that a bunny on her head?
Yep, because she knows about Murph. The all right. So you needed a 9 to get something reasonable that you think can do the job. Right now you're sitting at 11, and you said you're going to spend a saga point immediately to put that up to a 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's going to get you 2 upgrades for sure. We're going to get you a nice, sleek, probably Corvette is what I would guess, because you only need something that is 6 to 8 people, right? So it's going to be a sleek Corvette, probably, I would guess leisure class to fit the part. So you basically got a really cool limo that has got a little extra kick in the engine, is basically what you got for a vessel.
Perfect. Love it. And
All
really,
right.
it's more of like style than function, really. It's like it needs to be more expensive looking than it is functional.
Yep.
So if that fits the bill, then we're good.
Love it. All right. Ludwika, what do you want to prelude
I
for
want
the
to
escapade?
learn the layout of a Leviathan warship.
Okay.
So if there has to be any sneaky ways to get to said Corvette without being spotted,
Okay.
we can do so.
Yes, I'm more than happy to do that. Yeah, just a 9.
I will roll
Wait, are you a path? Are you a wayfinder?
Uh-huh.
You are. Okay. You know,
And
you know ships. You know vessels.
yes, I
Don't roll.
do.
Don't roll.
Oh,
You know it.
okay.
You already know it. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Um, don't know.
Tell you what, pocket it. Okay. And then if while we're adventuring, there's something you're like, you know what, I think I probably did some research on it. We'll do a
Sure.
flashback, see if you got it. And if you don't,
I mean, if anything, it'd be like right now, is there anything like cultural as far as like how interactions would be on at a promenade? Like how do people
you,
behave? How do you dress? How do you
yep,
yeah, how do you
you
approach people? Do you say enchanté or do you say nice to meet you? Do you shake hands? Do you bow? Do you curtsy? Like what do you do?
all great questions, and you're going to be thrown in the deep end because I don't think any of you are diplomats.
Right.
But these sort of things are the operator will be the most knowledgeable at it, right? But these things are so well ingrained within society is that you're going to know the general things that are going to happen. And in fact, I'm going to tell you once you get there and take a look at it.
Okay.
All right. So you've taken the job. You're going to do it?
I don't love it, but yeah, I guess so.
We're gonna take the money.
Yeah. Sapphire, is that actually his name or that's just what we call him?
No, it's
What?
No,
Sapphire Crux.
So
poor guy's name is
you're
Firecrux.
not a fan of this marriage, but aren't you just kind of in a position where someday you're gonna have to marry someone?
I mean, maybe, but if I can avoid it, I will. All right. I'm sure she's
Like,
lovely, but it's look, I'm not made
because
out for this.
I don't ever want to have to do this again just because you want to avoid another marriage.
Yeah, if we had
I
to kidnap you every time, it's gonna get old.
maybe just a kidnapping retainer. Maybe we could do that.
No, absolutely not.
Well, but maybe.
Like the third one is
Here.
free, maybe?
It's a punch card system.
I think 4 years just hanging out and not having to like worry about dying doesn't sound horrible, you know. Then we go kidnap him again. Like whatever. Like as long as we don't get caught. This sounds like a pretty good gig, actually. Assuming we all make it that far. Sapphire, I just have one thing. I have a double indemnity clause. All right. If this ship, this Leviathan warship, goes to warp red while we're on it for whatever reason, you owe us 1,000 times the jewels.
If it goes to warp red, what? I
Yeah.
don't understand.
If we're on this ship and for whatever reason it jumps and it heads towards this red, planet area, you just owe us 1,000 times the jewels.
So it doesn't even have the resources to make that sort of jump right now. It doesn't
I'm
even
with you.
have it has the engine, but nothing to burn in it. Do you understand?
What are the odds? So 1,000 times?
Sure. Let's make it 1,000,000.
Why not? I'll make sure he writes down that
I
one.
make sure we get all of this in writing, and
We
I'm
have-
going to like keep it somewhere secret. Also, in case we get caught, so I can be like, we were hired by the guy we kidnapped.
Ooh,
I
that's
want to be
really
able
good.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think in this society, like if you can produce a contract, no, he actually hired us to do that. They're like, oh, well, okay, we understand. That's just your job, right?
On
He
our
just
honor, we try to
right.
uphold this contract.
Right.
So that's why we were lying.
Perfect.
Great. We're good.
All right,
So
great.
he gets in trouble instead of us. And he ends up marrying this girl he doesn't want to marry. I feel bad for that girl, so no, I don't want that to happen.
Well, just wait. All right. Let's take a little 5-minute break here. I'm gonna do a little cutout to get something posted to you guys for that is a handout for the adventure. I think I accidentally posted one earlier that I should not have posted. Oh, you know what I did? Let's see now. Where's you guys? There's you guys. All right. You'll notice. Boop, 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 boop. I'm going to move it all the way to the left. I actually have already done this. There is the invitation in schedule in Who's Who for this escapade. If you go to your character sheet, the tab at the bottom will read Seat at the Table cheat sheet.
Hmm.
All right. If you want to take your time, I will be right back. Ah, oh, there it is. All right.
All right, man. So where was this extra set of messages or postings? I feel like I must be looking right at them and missing them.
I was the same way. Rachel had to show me. So if you go to Honorbound playtesting, like above like you see general chat like on the left, right? And you see our names.
Yeah.
Go up there. There's a whole nother thing of stuff.
Yeah. So when I see it, there's like a spreadsheet from Jared on the 27th at 4:20 p.m. that's like name, species, quirk, motivation. Is that where I should be looking?
Where are you
Try
at
that
now?
link, and the very first tab that pops up should be Who's Who.
I'm not.
No, no,
No.
that one I have. No, I mean the how to do the legacy and roles, stuff like that.
Oh, that's just a spreadsheet in our chat. Eric and I actually both overlooked it as well, but it's there. Um, it's just like a screenshot of a spreadsheet from like 3:23 p.m. today in our regular where we roll chat.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get what you're looking at. So my only guess is, are you on what device are you using, Aaron?
I'm still on
Oh,
a Windows machine.
sorry, 3:23 p.m. on March 27th is when it was
Uh,
posted. I looked at the wrong date.
I see some at 4:20. Okay, so it's showing up
Sorry,
as 4:20.
on the 27th at
Okay, I
3:23
was
p.m.
staring
There
right.
was a little
Okay,
spreadsheet.
I'm dumb. It was right there the whole time. Yep.
Eric and I both overlooked it too, actually. Like,
Yeah.
Eric and I were looking at that chat, and he was like, "But where's the stuff
Oh.
about what we're talking about right now?" And I was like, "That spreadsheet right there." I was like, "Oh yeah, that thing right there."
Yeah, it's right there. Okay, thank you.
All right, perfect. Let's set this up for you. You have the who's who, you have the order and when things are going to happen. Let's paint a picture of the setting. The representatives of Amber Gee arrived 3 days ago on the warship Nemesis, a Levine-class warship the size of a small space station. An open-bowed ironwood man-of-war, formerly laden with weapons of destruction. I'm just gonna throw this out, and you guys shout out your answers once you come up with them. Okay, so get unmuted if you're muted. Hey, what's keeping people from falling off the edges of this ship? Like, these are important people. Now, assumably, there's like a little rail guard. Like, think turn of the century wooden warship, right? But then make it huge and full of technology. So,
Mhm.
but like, so what's like? It's got. Well, we'll get the description a little bit. What's keeping it from people from just falling off the edge of the open bow?
There is an inertial compensator so that when the ship moves quickly, speed-wise changes speed, the inertial compensator keeps people uh, more or less in one spot, right? So that like its own little gravity area, like relativity, but juiced up so that you stay where you're going to go.
Okay.
And
Well, what
you
happens if the ship's
can
not moving? Oh, no, go.
I'm saying you can dial that up or down like percentage wise. So like inertial compensator at 100% means that inertia doesn't affect you at all. The more you dial it down, the more you can feel things shifting one way or the other.
Yeah. So what we'll say is that it's dialed up to like 100 on the edges. So even if you were to stumble, you get caught like in this weird gravity field. And so then like someone has to very politely go over and like extract you from it.
Or like
Okay.
there's dude with hooks that will pull you back on. Yeah.
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 Perfect. All right. But
Like,
now that
it's the biggest faux pas that you can like, pull, right? Like if they're seeing you like hook you back onto the ship, then you are like the worst.
it's
Like
honor loss
you
for
yeah,
sure.
want to do it. But you're not gonna die.
Now the deck is now polished to a sheen, its solar sails in full display to reflect the setting suns, garnished with wreaths and blooming vines. What what's the blooms look like? What kind of flowers are we looking at? And the vines hanging off the ship. All right, I'm just gonna go with. Oh, Aaron had a. I saw the light bulb.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not a sentient plant, but it's this long red tendrils that are always searching for nutrients. So they just sort of are undulating and waving as they hang down below and search around in space for nutrients that are not there.
Oh, very
Really
fancy.
hard to get them to grow like that, but yeah, it can be done for fancy occasions. But it
Love
gives
it.
the illusion of movement and life, even though you're out in space.
Oh, okay. I love that. So it looks like the underwater effect, right? Cool. That's very cool. Native from the other side of the universe, run from bow to stern, hoisted over booms meters above the dance floor. Either lamps gloomily light the vast meeting space below. The vessel is anchored 50 meters above a breathtaking view over the Dagger Falls. Who wants to take this one? Why are they called the Dagger Falls? I will tell you that you are at the edge of the world that drops off. Off of the edge, it's just cloud space that plummets way below. The only thing, this is where city states love to be at because it's in this huge ocean of clouds where there's just these mountain peaks that are coming through, whether they're islands or something else. But why is this called Dagger Falls?
I think there's a thing that like high schoolers do or whatever, that it's like the dare of like how close to the edge you can get and then like drop a dagger down. It's like a tradition, a rite of passage kind of thing.
Ooh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Is that tied to a specific lineage at all?
No, I think it's just people on this planet specifically. Like, so that could be. It
That
has
does sound
spread. It has spread to all the lineages, but on this particular location.
perfect. I love it. Every other guard that's stationed on the ship is from Ambergee, holding the leash of a guardian animal called a Graken. Diplomats mill about in groups, carefully eyeing each other as stringed music plays just loud enough to drown out lowered voices. Art and drapery are positioned to create small alcoves for 2 to 3 folks to meet in private. The political vote deciding the fate between nations is tomorrow, but the real work is tonight. You board your Corvette and wait patiently in line as other diplomats get ready to embark onto the Nemesis. You wait your turn in line, and suddenly it is your showtime. The three of you step from the Corvette onto the plank that's been extended. It's meant to signify the old traditions meeting with new traditions. As you step onto this, what do they, how are you announced?
Uh, uh, a fine question, and we obviously discussed this on our way in.
Yes, I know you did.
And now we will just tell you so that everybody knows what we obviously, as a group, settled on. And it's announced as Grand Master of the Rock, Mr. Crystal, and his retinue.
Largely, these things are lost on you, Mr. Crystal. You know this is of some sort of title of importance, but you're not quite sure what that means in this context. However, from looking at it, you know that this is important to be announced for the promenade, as dignitaries, important people are ushered onto the ship. Mr. Crystal, you were the first one out of the Corvette. Actually, no, you will not be. First, we'll say Gareth Karr is the first one out of the ship. Keeping a very, because of your keen eye, you notice a small retinue of diplomats and merchants, like just 3 or 4 of them, that's already on the Nemesis. Why do they stand out as not belonging here, and what matching apparels marks them apart?
Uh, all of them have cybernetic left eyes with tattoos that go like wrap around it. Uh, it is a very to folks like us. We recognize like it's a bounty hunter thing, and specifically bounty hunter guild ish, and uh, they're trying to downplay that. Like maybe it was a bounty hunter guild, but now they're all about
Mm,
technology and whatever, and they're trying to like seem legit. But these guys are rough, and probably to the upper crust, maybe they don't even know that's a bounty hunter thing. But for the folks like us that know, like they're coming from a very dangerous crowd.
perfect. You pick them out immediately because you're like, this is not the sort of group of people that should be here. Hey, Ludwika, because you are the Wayfinder, you've been around the breadth of the universe. What's a grackle?
What's a grackle?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
What is a
sorry,
what does a
is it a creature or is it
sorry,
part of a ship?
no, no,
Or do
no.
I get to
It's
decide that?
sorry, it's a Kraken. It's the guard
Okay.
animal that the guards from Ambergee have on a
Animal.
leash. Yes.
Okay.
So,
That's what I need a clarification. Was it part of the ship or was it a creature?
what does a
Um,
Kraken look like and why are they so dangerous?
a gracken.
It 100% will never come up why we need this information.
Never. I think a gracken has 6 legs. I don't know why. Um, and it's kind of maybe like a cheetah, kind of. It's some type of like big cat. Um, however, it also has. Ooh, it's kind of like a instead of like a lion's mane, it has like poisonous, acidy tendril things.
Perfect. Yes.
So it
That
has both.
sounds
It has the claws, it has the teeth, it has that, and that's why they're so dangerous.
yes, very dangerous. Yeah, a little bit like yeah, a little bit like that. Great. That is a
Yeah, we're not going to
Kraken.
regret that at
What's
all.
it look like?
Something like that today. Thank you, darling.
Oh, the cat thing that you painted with the snake's fur, like it's like a Medusa cat.
Kind of, yeah. With
Okay,
tendrils, though. It's not the same thing, but it's
right.
eerily similar.
Yes, maybe that was in my brain as I was thinking about this.
As Gareth Carr is leading the way, followed by Ludwika, who's amazed that hasn't seen a Kraken probably in person before, but knows exactly what it is because of her travels. Mr. Crystal, you are the last to exit the Corvette. Before I do this little bit, who's driving your Corvette, by the way? I don't think Reginald probably can do it. Is there someone you want to call on to do it? You can pay
Like a
someone a jewel to do it.
chauffeur.
Yeah, you can pay a chauffeur,
You look
pay
more
someone a
official
jewel.
with the chauffeur.
Okay. Someone want to pay a jewel for a chauffeur?
I want Sapphire Crux to pay the jewel for a chauffeur. How about this? I'll pay the jewel right now, and then I'm going to get a jewel from him later for it
Okay.
Yes, because that's
on the
exactly what's going
invoice.
to happen.
I'm just that's Garrett's plan.
All right, perfect. The chauffeur. All right, it's ready. Mr. Crystal is your last one to leave the Corvette to step onto the plank of Nemesis. As you step foot, you get from the soles of your feet the feeling of caged animosity runs through you. How do you know this is emanating from the ship itself? And gain the aggressive status.
So this strong wave of hatred is coming from the ship itself.
Seems to be.
Well, because I'm mineral born, as I step on the metal surface, it almost feels like it's gripping me back, right? That I'm not just stepping on it, that I'm actually like walking on a living surface. And it feels as though it's trying to wind and wend its way up through my flesh because I'm mineral born, it sort of like recognizes like, and it's trying to, it's almost feels sticky to me, even though it doesn't change its texture as I walk across it. It feels alive in some emotional weave sense. I can feel it sticking to me.
Perfect. Yeah,
And I am
it's
aggressive.
yep, you are now aggressive. And what that means, it's a status, is that you have to spend a saga point or pass a test 9 not to be violent when it comes up. The ship is made of ironwood, which is so it's wood, but it's been fossilized, right? So there's definitely minerals that have come through that you're feeling that from your mineral born um, ability. So, welcome to the promenade. The dignitaries announce as they cross the threshold. Greetings from Grand Master of the Rock, Mr. Crystal and retinue. The guards step forward to help you cross over to the plank. One from Ambergris and one from the Grand Alliance. You can tell the Grand Alliance guards are wearing white with like a gold kind of star, very like that. The ones from Ambergris have like a bright kind of emerald with blue chasings around here. Most of them are Caxian as they help you cross over the planks. Andre is like, oh yes, invitations, please. Invitations.
Mr. Crystal will just hold his hand out so his retinue will hand the invitations forward.
I'll put the invitation in his hand.
I'll pull off my top hat, the invitations.
Right. Perfect. So I'm going to assume that someone did some forgery at some point in time.
That'd be me, I think.
All
I was gonna
right.
say I assumed Sapphire Crux would do something like that, but maybe he hasn't even passed the dagger test yet.
He's not a dagger kind of guy. I doubt that.
Probably not. He doesn't even
Well,
know, like, he doesn't know what your plan is either, right? So it's
no.
better for the
True.
surprise.
True.
Okay. So yeah, I think just give me a 9. Well, no, it's going to be against the guard. So give me, what is this? Wit skullduggery, do you think?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Sure. Let's do that.
All right. So you're trying to fool me, so you go first. Holy 66. Boom. Okay.
Well,
Boom, indeed. Okay, so I get another tension point, which I had 5
mm,
before, so we're going to trigger something right away, which is fun. Maybe I'll wait. I don't know. We'll see. But you pass. You pass. Mr. Crystal, so you said you're wearing a top hat. Are you wearing like a full-on tux sort of
It
situation?
it absolutely is. Yeah, like a Mr. Big full on zooty sooty tux with gigantic lapels. like a sparkly iridescent shirt, a top hat. I've misunderstood the concept, so I'm also wearing a headband and a monocle. So I have just sort of kept adding pieces to this as I've gone. I'm wearing both a big belt and a cummerbund, but I'm not, as we hinted to before, wearing shoes because I'm
Sure.
still working on that thing. But yeah, sort of a black jacket, giant lapels, iridescent shining shirt with just sort of the straight band around the neck, and just all the accessories to the point where people are probably assuming that it's some sort of cultural thing among the mineral born. But
That's what I was going for.
that doesn't quite fit in.
I'm like, great. This is what Mr. Crystal's people do. That's fine. I didn't try to.
As you hand the invitation forward, the guard takes a look at it. It's like, yes. Make yourself at home. There's hors d'oeuvres and dancing. The first dance will be in a moment once the uh, House Crux gets here. As you enter, now Ludwika and Gareth Karr are following along as the retinue right now. What do you guys look like? How are you dressed? Let's start with Ludwika.
Um, indecisive. I'm
He's dressed indecisively.
yeah, I have like 4 different outfits on and they're all like kind of sticking out. No, I'm just kidding. I kind of went like full ball gown, but not like a full hoop skirt. Because I want to be able to move effectively. Um, but I do have an awesome like powdered wig of some kind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do. That's
And it has like
amazing.
beautiful white ringlets hanging down. Yes.
Which that contrasts with your bacteria purplish kind of
Mhm.
skin. That's
Mhm.
fantastic. All right, Gareth
And my
Karr.
dress is
Ooh,
like a darker purple. So if my skin is kind of pinkish, or my bacteria is pinkish, it has like this pink and purple and white contrast.
oh, fantastic. Now, Gareth
Mhm.
Karr, this is more your universe, right? And now you have said previously that you own a cummerbund, so presumably you do have a tux. I don't know if tux is the type of affair for this or not. You tell me.
Well, I knew immediately that I wanted to not be the center of attention so that I could move around and do other stuff. And admittedly, I should probably like taken a point because I really let my friends, they're like, oh, should I wear the purple dress with the powdered wig? And I was like, yes, you should. Like, should I wear the top hat too much? And I'm like, no, keep going. So like I made those guys like just like get really big. I'm just wearing a very simple black suit. And that's it. So that I could very much just be the help. And I want to blend in so that I can move around and not be forgotten. I'm on purpose not trying to be the center of attention. I want to blend in, and that's why I want these guys to look really big. And I'm not sure how I communicated that to them. Not exactly. I think I probably said like it's really important, Mr. Crystal. Like you are the dignitary here. They don't know your culture, and that's okay. Because you can't do anything wrong. Like just whatever happens, like, whoa, and where I come from, that's how we do it. We wear a cummerbund and a belt and suspenders, and that's okay. Just play that up. And Ludwika, I'm like, I mean, she does look beautiful with her wig and her dress. It's a bit much, but I'm not gonna tell her that. And I think it's okay. And I'm like, listen, you need to be able to approach these people and look like, you're supposed to be here and you're a big deal. And she's definitely playing that part too. So Am I also using it to my advantage? Yeah, a little bit, but I wouldn't want them to look like assholes. But they're just definitely playing a bigger part than me, and I'm hopefully going to try to just blend into the help.
So the three of you have been able to make it onto the Nemesis. The way that it's constructed is that you have the front deck is slightly elevated to be able to look down. And this is where currently um Belzark and his daughter are waiting for the arrival of House Crux. Taking a look at Belzark, an imposing figure, very imposing, standing at the deck. He doesn't sit; he only stands. Very well dressed, very much dressed for business. Where his daughter is dressed more for glamour. However, they are both Caxian, but the daughter has more tentacles for a face, and that is not normal. It's like some sort of mutation of whether it's of body or of soul or whatever, but it's not a normal presentation of a Caxian. You can tell she's somewhat well, not really. You know that people look at her, but you can also tell that she's been bred for this. She is stoic and proud and ready to do her duty for marriage. Meanwhile, out on the dance floor, people are milling around, getting ready for the first dance, as people are all just kind of in their own little groups right now, because there's like a tampering period, right? People get announced to come in, they have to wait for the first dance. Then you can go out onto the dance floor and by circuitous dancing, connect with the people that you want to connect with to do your deals and to contact with people. Okay. So you wait for a little bit. Is there anything you'd like to do before the House Crux gets here?
Can you remind me what a centillion is?
Bacteria.
That's same thing as Ludwika. Great. Sorry.
No, Caxian. Wait, who do you think is Centillion? Ludwika's Centillion.
That's what I'm. Yeah, just double checking what a
Okay.
centillion is. Yes,
Yep.
Caxian is squid faces and tentacles, and some
With
have more
merfolk.
tentacles than others.
Nah, mostly just fins. Rarely any tentacles. Usually
Rarely,
never any tentacles. This is
but
something
our girl
different.
does. Okay.
Yes, but the daughter does.
Um, and Odin as a species.
Yes, insectoid,
Thank you.
beetle-like.
Yep. Okay.
So everyone's kind of in their own little camp, waiting. What were you gonna say?
Do we see Sapphire somewhere?
You're waiting for House Crux to arrive.
They haven't showed up. Okay. I want to position myself so that I'm sort of close to Belzark, but not like I don't want to start a conversation, but I just want to kind of like be there when the Cruxes show up. If I can overhear him talking to his retinue when they do.
It's just the House Ambergy, the city state, I should say, House Ambergy. They're the only ones that are up on the deck itself.
That's it.
Yeah, everyone else is down on the dance floor. Now you do know that once the dance starts, they will join everyone else. But you can be like close to like one of the stairs that comes down to the
But to be close to them right now would be kind of weird because nobody else is there.
yeah. But as soon as they come down, you can be there. I'm fine with that. Or do you want to like climb up on one of the like sneak out onto one of the booms?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that's too tough to do right now. I don't think people are really looking. You have to get around because these floaty vines are tough to get around. Let's go not 9. I'll stick with a 9. So you're really just trying not to get seen is the big thing. It's not that it's so hard to climb on these because they're made to get up and down. It's just not being seen. So
Sure.
probably skullduggery.
Uh, Skullduggery vigor.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, I keep giving you points.
Yeah, but you got one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel really good about making your way up onto the boom and goes there. All right, Mr. Crystal Ludwika, would you like to get positioned before the first dance?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'm assuming the bar. I'm gonna get myself a drink. Position myself kind of over by the band where I can get a better look at people's faces, uh, assuming that they'll be occasionally looking up toward the source of the music.
Okay, sounds good. And Ludwika?
I think I'm gonna stick with Mr. Crystal. Kind of make it look like we're here together. I mean, we
Okay.
are, but like play it up like we're here together.
Okay, sounds good. Now, I was kind of waiting for this. Is that um, I'm gonna roll a die. 1d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't know what I'm doing, so it doesn't make any sense. 1, 2. Okay, so I know how I will structure this. So you keep getting that feeling, Mr. Crystal, of that weird waves of, like I said, caged anger. Uh, Gareth Karr, as you're shimmying your way out onto the boom, you get ready to do some listening. Out just before you see the delivery vessel for the House Crux arrive. And there's a big announcement. House Crux, Sapphire Crux, and names the mother or the father. They're humanish, right? So it's pretty unusual for humanish to raise this high. Not that they can't do it, it's just not normally a thing you see. And you see Sapphire Crux is the last one out, and the crowd erupts and clapping your hands. And as you see, people are celebrating down near the edge of the dance floor. I think actually Gareth Karr saw the weird, kind of the bounty hunter type people. So I think maybe Mr. Crystal's hearing that. I think Ludwika is on the edge. Ludwika on the edge of the dance floor. You see the most beautiful person you've ever seen in your life, and you have become smitten. So under the status, gain smitten
All right.
by
What's that
Prince
mean?
Prince Joyson. It means you're at a -1 total to every conflict check that you do that does not involve them.
Where are statuses?
So under like all your other stuff, advantages and stuff like that, just put type, status,
Oh, I see. Okay.
smitten, -1 total for everything. And I think -1 die when you're directly dealing with them.
Okay.
So -1 total to all your checks, -1 die when you're dealing directly with them, as you are just overcome by Prince Joyson's demeanor. The crowd erupts as they come out. As you peer about, you see the from your little cheat sheet the different camps or groups of people for the council members either enthusiastically clapping, and some are just not quite there. They so the marriage hasn't been fully decided yet. However, as they come out to meet onto the dance floor, the daughter and Sapphire, you can tell that Sapphire Crux can barely hide his disdain. It is no way to treat, much less another diplomat, a representative, much less a human being. This is not Sapphire Crux at his best. However, the first dance has begun as Belzark begins his walk down to the dance floor. You start to see that. And I think at this point it's 9 o'clock. Um, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to call it or do you want to keep going?
I can keep going.
Yeah, same.
Okay. All right. Great. So the first dance has begun. This is where the real politics begin. And if you want anyone to talk to you, you need to get their attention. You need to be impressive on the dance floor. What is your plan? What is it that you wish to do? As the different representatives from the different camps start to filter out on the dance floor, following the lead of Sapphire Crux.
Did I get any information from my little hidey spot?
Okay, sure. You can so Belzark finally makes his way down to the dance floor. He waits patiently for his daughter's dance before he um begins to dance with the Lady Crux as a show of support of the Union. Um, give me. He turns to which. Um, he turns to a man that you know only by reputation as the Needler. It is the captain of the Nemesis. He is fierce with his tongue as he is with a sword. A horrid enemy to have. And you see him say something to him. How do you find out what he says?
I have a little bug, a snooping device that's just part of my earpiece that we use for comms when we just like trying to talk back and forth. And it's very specific and very directional, but I can tap it for a certain amount of time and where I'm looking, magnify the volume and listen in. But it's only for really little, like short bursts, maybe a minute at a time.
Okay.
Because one drains the battery, and two will just feed back really bad into my brain and hurt. So I have to do it sparingly.
All right, well, I know what's going to happen if we fail. So my goal is not to be heard, and I think that's my just thing. So I'll go first. I got a 10. I'm not going to spend anything. 10's a good number. So I got a 10.
And then I'm just going to do like a vigor inquiry.
Yep.
Does that work?
Yep. Love it.
Okay.
Oh, and add +3 because you're hidden. You've already done the hiding.
Yeah. So I got 12.
Yeah.
Is that what you got?
Yeah, you needed it. Yeah. All right. And you
Yeah.
get a saga point.
Woo.
Okay. You overhear it and you hear Belzark say in an imposing voice to the Needler, it was like, as soon as this tomfoolery is done, just just make sure we get a seat at the table. And if Cardinal Charnay's mind hasn't been made, make it for her. The Needler responds back, Oh, I think I can do that. Ludwika, Mr. Crystal, what do you wish to do?
Now, I'm not entirely sure what my role is going to be here. I'm assuming I'm here to make draw attention away so the others can make a grab at Sapphire. But I'm going to look at Ludwika and say, Sapphire's being a real jerk to her. Do we just want to grab him now?
Not a terrible idea. He's really not showing his best self. I don't know that I've seen his best self.
This might be his best self.
In which case, I feel bad for her. I was gonna say, do we just want to just let him get married? But that's too bad for her. So let's not.
Hmm. I actually
I mean,
forgot.
would what? Go ahead.
No, you finish what you're going to say, and then I need to bring something back up, and I apologize.
I was gonna say, would you like to dance, Mr. Crystal? We can get closer at least.
That let's do. And I'll hold out my hand like I saw some of the other people doing.
So can I use I mean maybe I don't need to use my ability of Legend Says, but I'm imagining that um Centillions are actually really good dancers in the sense of like we're able to kind of use that amorphous ability to kind of like look like make it look really pretty and kind of like cover our partner's footwork to not look bad and kind of that kind of thing so we can like make it look really pretty even if we don't know
Yes.
what we're doing.
Yes, I love all this. Now, I'm going to do this before we do any checks here, because one of the nice things here, if you want to give a really good impression to get people to come and talk to you, to be open to it, this is a good way to do it.
Hmm.
Now, what I forgot to do is open up the floor. You are smitten by this person. First of all, you tell me what they look like. Like, are they another centillion? Are they a different species?
No, I'm gonna go Centillion.
Okay.
It is another Centillion, and he is just, you said, yeah, he is just like the most beautiful shade of greenish blue that I have ever seen. It's like this iridescent, it kind of like fluctuates between colors, almost has like a sparkly tint to it. Uh, and the way his form is assembled, the way his colony assembles itself is very tall. And yeah, I just think the way the shape he's taken and the color is just stunning. And he also chose to wear like the perfect color of tie to just complement his color.
Yeah, I love it. All right, now this is on the tension table. So something that we're going to do with the tension table that is new is that we're going to do a twist every time that the tension table is an opportunity for you to get more unity points. Because right now you start at 0, you're trying to get at least 3 to be able to do those big conflicts, right?
Mhm.
So everyone else besides Rachel, give us the twist. Prince Joyson, another centillion, dressed to the nines, sparkly, blue-green. What is the twist?
Uh, one of the twists is that you aren't just now smitten by the prince. You've been smitten since you were young and you knew each other as children.
Mm.
And so he's going to recognize you.
That's a pretty good one. I don't know if I can do better than
Mhm.
that. Eric, you got anything?
Uh, I recognize him as an operator. He's not a prince at all. I know this guy. He deals in uh, black market organ selling,
God.
and
Uh,
he's a scientist as well. And he may not be like the surgeon, but I definitely know that he was a fence. And I'm like, oh, I found out all this information, and like I want to tell my gang, and I get out of my hiding space, and I see Mr. Crystal and Ludwika, and they're dancing. It's like, I'm not even part of this group anymore. Like, oh my god, those guys are bonding so well. And that's also a twist where I'm just sort of taken aback. I'm not even sure I'm gonna tell her that he's a black market organ trader, but it's bad.
I love these twists. The only thing I could come up with is like it's either a family member or they're like, yeah, they represent something bad. You guys kind of did it both, combined it. So then I'll just throw this out here. Prince Joyson, yeah, is also a well known boy, I don't know. Like eats puppies. No, I don't know. I can't. That probably wouldn't do it. Yeah, I was just to say like the head of some guild. Huh. What twists would you like to take? Or all of them, or none of them?
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say just Aaron's, but I'm trying. It'd be interesting if it was both Aaron's and Eric's.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've known him forever and don't know this other side of him.
Love it. All right, as you step out on the dance floor, now we need to make a dance check. Okay.
Do we get a unity point?
Yes, you got a unity point. So you're up to two.
Yay!
Yep, you're up to two. All right. So now, what are we looking at? What kind of dance? So I usually think like bigger um charm, right? But if there's something narratively, something else you can think of that might work better, and I am totally fine with you spending a saga point to add +3 to it, using your centillion like
Oh, okay.
flowiness if you want to spend a saga point to get bonuses to it afterwards, after you roll the dice.
Right. Yes, that sounds great. And yeah, I know Mr. Crystal doesn't know how to dance. So I'm like trying to make sure like he can't step on my toes. I stay out of the way, but also just like kind of mask whatever his feet are doing.
Just gonna throw this out here. I think Mr. Crystal does know how to dance. It's
Oh,
just not
this dance.
society's dances, right?
For sure. Sorry. Yes, I was also imagining that. Like I know he's not going to know this dance.
Yeah.
I, I
And I
think I'm
only
gonna
kind of
add,
know this dance. So, charm, vigor.
can I was just gonna add a charm vigor. So I want to harmonize with the music and set
Ooh.
off on a minor, like a dark minor key to add a sense of like depth to the dance. So it's not just some formal puffery piece, but there's this underlying like hum and vibrato to it.
Okay, I love it. Now, whose attention are you trying to get? Who are you trying to signal with your dance?
I don't know anything that's going on with this Prince guy, and I don't really know the players here, so I'm just out there to add some zhuzh to the dance. Ludwig is gonna have to make it look good. So
Right. I think I am trying to signal the Sapphire Crux that, hey, we're here. We'll hold up our end of the bargain.
Okay, you can do that without any checks, not a problem.
Right. And then also just kind of keep attention away from Gareth a bit. So kind of just trying to get everybody's attention. Just trying to make it look real pretty.
Well, is there anyone that's on the who's list that you want to talk
Yeah.
to?
I mean, obviously, I want to talk to Prince Joyson, but I also don't want to talk to Prince Joyson. It's been a long time, and the last time I saw him, it was really awkward, and I don't want to have to relive that. So
You like sneezed and bacteria got yeah, it's a whole thing.
I was thinking more like I like told him how I
That's like
felt,
in our
and
culture.
it was bad, and he turned me down, and it was no.
Is Queen Lot there?
Oh yeah.
Uh, my whole plan was to like stay like on the down low, but seeing those two dance, and I don't know, I'm kind of antsy. Uh, and this is like my kind of thing. I want to grab a girl and I just want to dance. With the idea that I'm gonna try to find Queen Lot.
Okay. All right, not a problem. Uh, so we got Mr. We need Ludwika and Mr. Well, if you guys are just dancing, you're not trying to get in touch with anyone, you guys can just dance. And I love the flow, like doing a harmonizing and the using the flow of the um, thing. If you want, I think this could be a moment, and to push this, you can only do this once per escapade. If either one of you would like to try and increase your bond with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I was not
sure.
intending for this, but that's exactly, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So taking a look at the charts, so I think it's 9 for both of you, right? Yeah, 9 for both of you. And add +3 for both of you, I think, because you're using your abilities, all making it mesh. I think this works out great. Okay. Now, all right, I get a
So are we still
tension.
using the vigor charm? Is that still the ability that
If
we'd be
you
using?
now that it's changed because you're not trying to get anyone's attention. Now you're just like
Mm-hmm.
doing weave or what you feel narratively to grow this bond, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but Mr. Crystal, boom, got it.
14.
Yep.
Um. Yeah, I think it'll. This is probably gonna be bad. That's okay, but I get to add something to it. You said right?
Yeah,
Except I have to
plus
subtract one because I am in the presence of dude I have a crush on.
yeah, yes.
Oh
Oh, and
God.
But +3.
yeah, but you
Minus
got
one.
it. You did it. Yeah, plus 10. Yeah, you got it. Just barely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can move that from a 2 to a 3 with your bond. So you
Okay.
two are just actually having a lovely time. You motion to that. Now, Gareth Karr, you're the only one that's on the job here, for goodness sakes. And you're starting to feel that kind of like resentment a little bit. It's like this is
Yeah,
like I'm the
it's
only
too bad.
professional person here.
Come on.
God, all right, I'm talking a lot. All right. Now to get her attention, that's not gonna be too bad. I think it's just gonna be a 9. And I can don't forget your special ability, right? As being an operator. You can always use that, right? Um, I think I'm okay because you're an operator. You can reach out and get in contact with one person automatically. Do you want to do that with Queen Lot?
Hmm. What does that mean? Like get like in
So,
touch
like,
with them?
for everyone else, you have to get an invite from their camp to dance with them, to talk with them. Okay. This is all part of the whole social scene and what they do. So then you can start really doing the politicking part, right? Finding out like
Sure.
what do you want? What can we give you? What can we do to stop this deal or make this deal happen or whatever, right?
Sure.
But first you have to get off those signals without saying them, right? Now,
Right.
because you're an operator, I'm going to say, you know what? You've done this dance before. You're aware of these things. You can automatically get get a meeting with one person.
Queen Lot sounds good to me. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. You. What does your dance look like? I kind of got an idea of what Ludovico and Mr. Crystal look like. What do you look like?
Uh, this is like tango. This is like True Lies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the rose in the mouth thing. You know what I mean? Like old school.
The writhing vine in the mouth, you know?
There's and it like tries to wrap, and that's the thing. If you can get it to wrap around your ear while you're doing it, you're doing it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
You find yourself after an impressive, uh, energetic dance, being led towards Queen Lot. It's like, oh, uh, Queen Lot would like to speak with you. Queen Lot doesn't dance, right? But she does enjoy the finer things in life. As she, as you walk over, she gives a nice clap. Tall, statuesque centillion, wearing white robes, very much a Greek goddess type of vibe. As she has a kind of a tiara on, she claps her hands like, "You're very impressive. And you are,
I, I am a of the retinue of Master of the Rock, Mr. Carr.
oh, Mr. Carr, a pleasure. You have gotten my attention. Is this pleasure or business?"
I like to think it's a little bit of both. uh, my employer always likes to make sure that he has contact with the most interesting people in the room, the
Mm.
most, let's just say that he knows style and he knows class, and he wants to make sure that those things are available to him in relationships and in life. And he wanted me to get to know you a little bit better so that he might get to know you a little bit better.
Oh, I was hoping I could just get to know you better, but that's fine.
Well,
I will meet your Mr. Rock if that's right.
well, let's just say that we have the time and the ability to get to know each other as well as we need to before the master is concerned.
Hmm.
And I have all the time in the world. So,
An eyebrow arcs up. Right now, you two are dancing on the dance floor, and you just like every time you pass by, Sapphire Crux goes like, "Oh, I would hate if something happened to end this night," as he goes spinning off while you're dancing. Queen Lot, um, so what is your goal? What would you like to know here, Gareth?
I want to know specifically how she's related to uh, Belzark and Genevieve. She appears to be like like she's a part of the free cities, right? The free states,
Yes.
and uh, how she knows them, and specifically what she knows about Belzark's motivations. Like I'm not going to tell her this, but obviously I heard a little bit about him talking with the Needler, and I don't think anybody's motives are on the up and up anyway. So um, I want to know what she knows.
So Queen Lot is from a rival free city state called
Mm.
Grimdale, and she is here to poison the deal.
Oh, okay.
She's like, if I feel like you're a person that knows people. I would do the same deal with this House of Crux without marriage. But they would have to fund my war against Belzark.
Uh, yeah.
Regardless, this deal can't happen. I'm not
Why do you
about.
think? Go ahead.
No, what was that, Mr. Carr?
Why do you think that Crux and Belzark want this to happen in the first place?
Well, I can't speak for everything. I don't know these Crux, but it's well
I do.
known.
Good.
But it's well known that Belzark has wanted a seat at the table of the Grand Alliance, but still maintain his status as a free city-state. I cannot allow that. To allow a free city-state to have the resources of the Grand Alliance but still maintain their own sovereignty, that is not what we agreed to.
That's not how it works.
And that's what they're presenting if this marriage
What's
goes through.
what does Crux gain from that?
The largest, with those two houses combined, create the largest naval force.
So he gets to be part of the Grand Alliance through the Cruxes, and then gets to keep all the benefits of being a free city state.
Times are desperate. It's a race to get to the warp red.
What do you think you're going to find when you get there? The warp red.
I don't know. I don't know, but I can't allow my enemy to gain access to the largest resources to crush me underneath of them.
Can I need to do some sort of a check and see if I can trust her or not.
Yeah, that is totally reasonable, and I am totally gonna hide that.
I gotta roll something.
Mhm. Well, I know what I'm gonna roll.
Panache duel? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, so you can do like an empathy check, right? Which is gonna be inquiry panache.
That makes sense. Yeah.
If you want to do a social duel with her, you can. She'll probably win though.
I don't want to do that. I think that sounds empathy sounds way better. Let's do that.
All right.
Can I make
Yeah, go ahead. I'm less good at that too. I mean, her status as the. Hmm.
I wish I
Well,
could give you more freaking points. Dear
yeah, that'd be
God.
nice.
You know what? I'm going to spend the one. I'm going to make it a 13.
Okay. There I go.
Eat it, nerd.
Couldn't even beat you. All right, even if I tried.
Yeah.
For blatant, just because she's not so much concerned about becoming the largest naval. Like she threw offhand, if she could get the same deal with Crunk, she would take it. But she's just like, whatever. The only thing she wants is for Belzark to not get that deal. And
Great.
she will do most anything to do it. Well, you don't know that part, but he seems totally up and up, right?
What if I tell you that I could might have a way to prevent this wedding from happening? What is it worth to you?
I'm listening. All right, Ludwika, Mr. Crystal, out on the dance floor. You're having a great time. The first dance is coming around. You both have bonded with this moment. What is there anything that you want to do besides just dance the rest of the night away? Or at least dance this section of the night away before we get to I guess for now in the petition where we meet with people and try and change people's minds. Unless
Mm-hmm.
there's someone else that you want to try and impress to set up the meeting for later.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mr. Crystal, you were wondering if we should just take him now, real obvious on the floor, or do we try to persuade people and then not have to do the kidnapping? You're really good
Oh.
at persuading people.
The longer I'm
Yes.
standing on the ship, I don't know how to convey that the ship is making me feel really angry and upset. I don't know that I don't know how to I don't really understand what's happening right now with that. We have a few minutes. Do you know that prince over there? You keep looking over there. Do we need to talk to him?
I haven't decided yet, but yes, I do know him. And I don't know if I want to talk to him.
Okay, well,
Um,
we could also dance over by Sapphire, and maybe we could dance with him and her
mm-hmm.
and figure out what he's looking for. So what would you like?
I was also wondering if talking to Sapphire's father might be if we can get his attention.
Mm.
Try to see what's happening on his side.
Now, you can both do separate roles to
Mm-hmm.
impress other people to talk with them. It's totally up to you. It is your dance floor, as it were. And it's going great.
I I think I'm what was Sapphire's lady friend's name again?
Lady
Genevieve.
Lady Genevieve.
Genevieve. Maybe I could talk to Genevieve and see if maybe she wants to end this.
Sure.
I don't know that she can, but
Right. Well, if you talk to her, I'll try to get Lord Crux's attention.
okay.
Okay. Mr. Crystal, Genevieve, Ludwig, Lord Crooks. Yeah, not a problem.
Mhm.
Give me the impression rolls for how you're going to do that. You can just do another dance, that's fine, or through subtle spy communications, delegate, just talking, charm, whatever. Whatever you think works.
Uh,
I will say that Mr. Crystal does feel the call from that rage building up. He may not be the best at civil conversation right now.
yeah, it's going downhill.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna head over towards Sapphire and his dance partner.
Okay. Yeah, you head over there, and like they're kind of mid dance, and like the first dance is starting to wind down, so that's okay. But they're just like, yeah, hello, stranger.
I'm gonna glare. Just I don't. Wow, this is weird. I'm just gonna glare at Sapphire, and I'm going to, in a very command, vigor, intimidating way, say, "This wonderful creature, and this wonderful being needs to dance with someone who respects her. I will have the next dance."
Uh, Hit me. I am Sapphire Crux is going to be just like, what? What? You're breaking taboos here, and this is going to possibly socially shame him. And I think you're probably fine with that. So let's go to well, what do you think narratively? I think this is probably a duel.
Yeah, certainly opposed for sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
it might turn into a duel. Because he shouldn't be doing that to her.
Oh, I meant
Uh,
for skill is what I meant. Sorry.
yeah. I was thinking intimidate,
Yeah.
but maybe it's more of a give orders because I'm stepping way over the line in terms of behavior.
Yeah, I think those fall into the same thing. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll many dice. Well, some dice. I think you're probably gonna roll more than me. But you are the attacker, so roll away.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to vigor. I'm gonna vigor command. I'm gonna try to intimidate straight up. Yeah,
Like break protocol.
he's like, I thought you were just gonna kidnap me.
Yeah, not smack me down. Uh,
Yeah. So I will. I'll burn one for that to get me to 15.
You're at 15. Whoa. Um, I am not so this is one of the interesting parts about being the GM with this. I would rather have the tension table trigger to spend it on that rather than avoid this because I think this is really good storytelling too. So you get a 15 versus my 12. I take 3 points of honor damage, or rather, Sapphire Crux does. Sapphire Crux didn't have a whole bunch to begin with. But now is it? I got to put some stats in for him because I didn't think he'd actually be in a fight. Uh, you totally just like shock him into silence as his face turns beet red. His face kind of twitches a little bit. The cog pops out as just like the raising anger of his tension. I need you to make a check, or you're gonna punch this guy.
Let's see. What would that be? Which check do you think that would be?
Wits,
Valor.
valor, and discipline.
Yeah, I think that's good because this is 100% of valor. This is a resistance to violence. Wits probably makes sense. Like it's not smart, right? It's a wits valor check. Okay, now let me take a look at your sheet. What did I say? Uh, what's the check on that? You're aggressive. So you had okay. So to not hit this guy, you can spend a saga point to beat a 9.
Uh, yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yep,
Probably
yep.
wise given that there's guards around here and you probably have bodyguards stuff like that. You barely, and the problem is when you get ready and you're trying to fight the violent sensations down, you feel the ship vibrate underneath your feet. Just like, and you hear or feel this sensation of unleash, open the cage. And can you roll a d6 for me?
Okay. 3.
No. Okay. All right, let's do this one over here. I think that makes more sense. All right. You turn, proffer your hand to Princess Genevieve, who gladly takes it as you turn your back on now the dishonored Sapphire Crux. I'm just like, unbelievable. You turn and you begin the first step as you um, slightly bump into another representative from a free city state that you didn't notice before. As they slightly stumble, a bear misstep within their dance. They turn to their manservant and they pull out a lash. It's like, fool! Why would you let me misstep like that? And he raises the lash back to give him a whipping onto the right there on the dance floor in front of everyone. Now, complications abound here. Representatives from the Free City State have guest rights. So it's not like immunity, but kind of, right? The Free City State laws still exist for them. This is their servant. They can do what they want to their servant. Okay. However, your pathos directly contrasts to this helpless person about to be lashed. This is an honor-bound moment of 4. And Eric, Rachel, can you give me a twist on this? What makes this even worse?
Did you say where they're from? Like what species?
Nope. Yeah, tell me what the species is. Tell me they're from a free city state, but I didn't name one.
Uh, these are like cousins of Belzarks,
Yeah, 100%.
and uh, and there are Zui that are they're like servant folk that they're going to make a lesson of, and they're like just and they're uh canine like it looks like just sweet puppy dogs they're gonna smack around. Rachel, want to defend the people that do that? I don't either.
Rachel, do you have a good twist at all?
No, it's a good twist,
Yeah,
but I don't like it.
that's a spectacular twist. Let's see if there's anything I can throw in there. I mean, I was gonna say that it was Prince Joyson,
Mm.
but that I don't want to take away from that relationship, right? That's its own thing, I think. So I will say that it is, yeah, I think it's someone you know from you know what? The servant that's about to be punished is actually someone that you recognize from your old bastion where you walked away from.
Oh, I love that last one. That is going to trigger me in all the wrong ways. Yeah, for sure. I'm taking that one. Boy, the politics just gets so nasty otherwise. I'm gonna.
I love the cousins one, but I understand. Not
Oh,
taking it.
uh, there's gonna be a moment of yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to accept. I'm going to accept just one, and it's going to be that one that I
Okay.
recognize, and I realize with just a moment of shock and horror. Not only have I just caused huge problems for Sapphire, I treated this poor woman like an object being fought over between us, which is growing horror that I've just taken that away from her, just like I did before. I realized this person might have been coming to look for me and is now been forced into service. I'm going to reach down with one hand and whip my belt off like a lash and say, I accept your duel. Lash as it is.
Okay. Um, yes, 100 times yes. As the person, um, this is oh boy, a Caxian. We'll say because it's from Free City State. Let's say from the same city state as Belzark. Just looks at you in utter like, you can't do that. Guess rights. However, there are. He is going to simply just say guest rights and try and walk away from it. Does now, if he does, you take 4 points of honor loss. Okay. And he takes the manservant away with him. Genevieve, however, still gets her dance with you. Or at least, at this point, Genevieve's just going to go back to to the contingency, go back to Belzark probably at this point. Um, there is a point here, though, that you might be able to make this stick. If there's any narrative way you think you can get this to do so.
I'm going to attempt a berate check, command and wits.
Okay.
And I'll like set up a nice big deep hum and say, do the free states have so little honor that they turn down a duel? Try to shame him.
Okay. So it's not Belzark's cousin. I really wish it was. But so here's what we'll do though. Here's what we'll do. Is the nobleman turns to you. He's like, all right, fine. I accept. What are the stakes? My manservant's life?
Ooh, how do I interpret that?
Right.
Meaning
While you're
I would
thinking
take
about
the
that,
manservant if I win? Okay, yep. Okay.
Ludwika,
Hmm.
you you were trying to get a hold of Belzark, right?
No, I was looking for Sapphire's dad.
Oh, right. Sorry, Lord Crux. Okay.
Hmm.
Give me a dance or a narrative or any way you can think of that you're going to get in touch with
I was probably just gonna dance.
him. Okay. Give me a roll. Got to beat a nine. Nine or better, I should say.
Um, 6.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right.
I'm a good
Perfect.
dancer.
You are a good dancer. You pass along during a dance a note to the contingency of the House Crux to try and speak with them. And you manage to, as the first night, and actually, I'm going to go back real quick to Princess Genevieve does not leave Mr. Crystal's side because that was kind of the goal of what you wanted to do is talk to her. You haven't done anything to fail in that goal so far, so that's still on the table. Okay. Um, goes like, yes, you find yourself doing a jaunty little two-step with the somewhat corpulent Lord Crux. Large fin. Um, oh no, sorry, he's Humanish. Sorry, Humanish. And he has decorated his left arm that is now just a form of a short cannon. He dances mostly with his right hand. Is like, so You've made your way to me. Let me hear you. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Louisa, and uh, I have heard about you. But also, I can communicate stuff just by touching him, and dancing involves a lot of touch. So I'm not gonna like tell. So was his dad was involved in our original thing that we were hired for that involves Sapphire, right?
Yes, he hired
I
you
thought
over the lace, though, so he may not even know what you look like.
right, but I will, without saying it out loud, I will communicate that I was in on that.
Oh, okay. You tell him that you worked for him before. Okay.
Yes.
He's like, and
And
through
I,
the auto inducers, I assume, and he's like, oh,
hmm
I see. Well, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
yes, I figured we were in the same place, and what a coincidence, and I might as well say hello. And I was surprised to hear that Sapphire was getting married. Um, when I met him, it didn't seem like he was quite ready for that kind of responsibility.
Well, no one knows when the time of nobility is thrust upon you, and now it is time for sapphires to become a man. And you're hearing this, and you're like, this is a very old school way of thinking. Like, okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. Are I understand old traditions that have been around for a long time regarding negotiations, but are you sure there's like I'm just surprised there's not another more contemporary way that you can go about making deals like these.
Oh, it was just the one that Belzark felt the most comfortable with, and I understand that. It's not so much like having hostages of each other's children.
Okay. Okay. I will pretty much just like finish out the dance like, oh, talking to the old person who you're not, you're just gonna let them keep thinking what they think.
Yeah,
Happens in my job a lot. You talk to somebody, they say that thing that you're just like, you are of a different generation, and it is not my job to try to bring you into 2025.
you do get from talking to him though, it's like, so the marriage was Belzark's idea,
Yes.
and not a bad one. He's like, yeah, actually, you know what? There's precedence for this, right?
We both have
Um,
children the right age. Yeah, for sure.
Yep, it all kind of fell into place, but it's just a matter of convincing Cardinal Charnay to vote that way. We've got the other votes that we needed to go that way. We just need to get Charnay to go that way.
Okay. Noted.
All right, Gareth Karr, you were talking with Lot, and she had just cocked an eyebrow and was like, "Do tell." So,
If
so I do want to. It is getting a little bit later, so we're gonna do finish up the scenes with each person, or call it here really soon, just to let you know. Okay.
okay, uh, if there was a way to stop the wedding from happening, uh, if you would be interested, what would be worth to you?
Well, a thing like that is that one of the people of the rock could come visit us, maybe stay with us for a while. What is it that the people of the rock need? Now, you finally pick up the idea is that she thinks that you are a free city state, that you're representing a much larger organization.
That's fine. Uh, the Rock actually, more than anything, needs information. What do you know about? What can you provide about genetic testing and illegal AI operations?
Well, that's not something that I would allow in my dements. However, that doesn't mean that other people haven't stooped so low. The laws are less lax the further you go out. The free city states are even more so. Yes, we all have to pay attention to the Grand Alliance laws. We all live in this universe together. However, it's just if they're upheld or not is the difference. Not for me. It's not to my tasting. However, I
I'm
may have
the
or
master of rocks tasting as well. This is not things he's interested in pursuing. It's information that he wants to know that he might be able to combat and be able to bring those that have defied the laws of nature to justice.
well, I can see what my spy masters say. Do you want to attempt to do an untold story right now? Do you have enough saga points to pull it off?
Probably not. How many saga points do I need?
Well, what's the number up to? Let's see how because you're trying to do number 4, right? You need to
Yeah.
get a 17 or better.
It would be close. uh, but that's what I want to do, but I don't need to do it right now.
Okay.
But that's the sort of thing that I want to trade, right? Like, if
Okay.
I can stop this marriage from happening, then that's the information that you owe the Master of the Rock, which you can just tell me directly.
Okay.
Plus,
What I'll what I'll do
plus,
here.
plus
Yeah.
some jewels, obviously.
What I'll do here, so that is on the table. We may start the next one with that.
Great.
Okay. Um, untold story with Queen Lot. Okay.
So, what's like her availability? Like, she seems pretty cool.
She's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. She claimed the ownership of the Free City State by rights of battle.
Pretty awesome. I'm kind of might be in transition. I don't know if like I really the Master of the Rock kind of has his own thing going, and I don't know if I'm really needed in that organization. So I might be in a
Oh,
transition period. If you're looking for, uh, you know, help, advice, more retinue, I might be available sooner or later. I don't know.
well, I
But
always
just you
like a new plaything. Also, a Grand Alliance spy would always be interesting.
I'm
And
neither of those things.
well, maybe you. All right, Mr. Crystal, you are at a crossroads. He is walking away. You've given off this aura of things, and he's turned back to you and goes like, "Yes, I suppose we can do it your way. What are the stakes? The life of this manservant?"
Do I? So I recognize this person. Maybe not close friends, but certainly he's in my clan. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything to offer on the other side of this duel. Yeah, what do I have to offer? I don't have anything to offer. Crap.
How about your servitude?
Yeah, his servitude or mine, so be it.
Excellent. Excellent. I shall make the arrangements presently. So you have stopped the manservant from getting beaten. But you do see he has taken he's got some cracks about his upper part of his head. He has been beaten before this day. As he looks up to you and in recognition, he gives you a nod, calls you a word you have forgotten that you knew of a title. He calls you servitor. Thank you, servitor. And he gets drug away. As someone comes out of the crowd to talk to you, like, and who will your second be? As they begin the plans of a formal duel. So that's what we will open up for your character next session. Pistol duel. Excellent. And Ludwika, you have edged your way away from uh, Lord Crux.
Mm-hmm.
As do you want to try and hide from Prince Joyson?
No, I'm not actively hiding, but I'm also not approaching.
Okay. Well, Prince Joyson's going to approach you. Just
Okay.
like, my, haven't we all become adults in this silly old world here? Would you care for a dance?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. He dances with you, and he's a very good dancer. Of course he is. And
And
he
it's,
just has.
I mean, when you see two centillions dancing, it is just like this swirl. It's really pretty.
I do love that. I do love that. Like, it's not flubber, right? It's so much more
Right.
graceful and swirling. um, hi, Sally. Um, it goes like, what brings you to this part of the galaxy?
Work? I mean, what else? What else brings somebody so far away from where they came from? Either you're running from something or you're running to something.
What are you running from?
I told you I am running to work. I am here for
Oh,
work.
you're here for work. I see. What is that? What are you working on these days?
Ah, odd jobs here and there right now.
Hmm.
What about you?
Well,
Okay, just for Rachel, is he, if he's Prince Joyson the Centillion, is he the son of Queen Lot the Centillion?
he is not.
Okay,
He is from the Grand Alliance.
sure.
And Prince is
So
more of an honorary term.
sure.
He's just a floating noble that kind of gets stuff done. And now remember,
Okay.
you both have auto inducers.
Right.
So if you're open to it, you guys can share your
It's
complete
true.
histories with each other in a matter of seconds.
Right.
But it's a very intimate thing if you want to
Right.
do that or not.
And I don't know that it's been so long, I don't know what he's been up to, so I don't know that I trust him enough for that.
He is going to look you in your eyes. He goes like, "Do you
Hmm.
trust me, Ludwika? Can I trust moreover? Can I trust you?" All right. He is going to try and read you.
Oh.
So I'm the aggressor. This is going to be probably a panache valor check on your part.
Okay.
I'm kind of good at what I do, so d6 plus 3.
Oh, and I have to lose a die because I'm interacting directly with him.
Yes. You feel
Great.
you're a little bit not as smooth as you normally would be.
Like,
I'd
I
roll
know I shouldn't
two
trust
poison.
him, and yet, like, looking into his eyes, I just can't help but just be
Yeah.
taken in.
Well, I got a 9.
Remembering the good old days when we were kids and
That was a horrible roll, Jared. Like just a
Yes.
horrible roll.
Yes, I'm well aware of that. Oh, so that's your roll is the 3d6? All right. Yeah. Okay.
No, no. Did I? I didn't mean to. Oh, yeah. Well, that apparently was my roll. I had typed it in, but I hadn't meant to press enter
Oh, okay. Well, hey, you
because
won.
you're the aggressor and I get to go first. But
Yeah.
that's okay. Or you get to go first. But
Yep. All right. So I get a tension point, but he is like, he can't read you. He's like, oh, we have mysteries, do we?
I
I will,
imagine you have some as well. But
I will show you everything. Talk to me so I can ask you this question. It's a very pointed question.
okay.
He wants to communicate through auto-inducers to ask this question. Um, do you wish to? Do you want to think about it?
I will think about it for next time.
All right. So then we will leave the scene with you with Prince Joyson with Do You Trust Me? Okay. So we're gonna do the quick reward things. I kind of updated the sort of things for how we get experience points. Remember that we put the pathos together. So the experience points. Honorbound. Oh, I have so many rule books now. All right. First of all, did you participate in the session? You did. Nice. Uh, let's take a look at those pathos for the covenant. Did you protect the vulnerable? Uh, Mr. Crystal, got an easy one there. Was anyone boldness in the face of danger? Did anyone do anything real Well, what do you guys think? I mean, there were some interesting things that came up. Um,
We did some really cool stuff so that we wouldn't be in danger later, but it
yeah,
wasn't like particularly heroic. We're just really smart and good at what we're doing. So I
yeah.
wouldn't, not necessarily.
Okay,
I did some
sounds good.
rageful, foolhardy things, but I blame the ship for that.
Okay.
I wouldn't
What
call them
about
bold.
defending the bonds of friendship? I would argue that Mr. Crystal also did that, but only because of the twist, making it someone that you knew as well. So it became kind of a moment.
Mhm.
Um, there are other moments during this adventure that's going to be more poignant, but if you have any, yeah, Eric, were you going to say something?
I don't know if it's worth points, but I'm certainly reacting to their bonds growing.
Yeah, I really like what you're doing with that, and I think that's probably worth an experience point for sure. Okay, and that would be part of what I'm going to call the wow factor. Did you do something during the session that everyone in the table has to vote on it? Like, wow, you did something that I really liked, and so you deserve an experience points for it. Do we all agree that Gareth Karr's character getting getting more alienated is an interesting storyline to go with? I think that is a wow moment for me.
Sure.
What about for Ludwika? Does Ludwika have any wow moments?
I just think the fact that she like dressing up and like dancing and like doing this stuff is like outside of her comfort zone. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be a lot easier for Ludwika to be like, I don't wear anything special. I'm just kind of like, I'm back there and I'm watching what's happening. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, she's like going for it and she sees dude and she's smitten and she still dances with him. Like, even though she knows she's going to suck at this, like, she went for it. I think it's pretty cool.
And honestly, I really liked your guys' bonding moment too. It was cool. So yeah, I'm fine with Ludwig getting an experience point. And how about Mr. Crystal?
He's definitely willing to like fight some dude.
Yeah.
Not on the menu. But he was like ready to go. Like it's
Yeah.
very Mr. Crystal. Like it's
Defending Genevieve's honor.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Mhm.
Not something he had to do, but so Mr. Crystal. Like fucking awesome. I loved it.
Perfect. So those are the experience points for the session. In the future, so that people know, if you finish an untold story, you get 2 experience points. If you finish the job, or the escapade, you get 3 experience points. So we're now kind of opening up where you can earn more experience points, but I also made things a little bit more expensive moving forward. But you can spend experience points whenever you want to. So yeah, there we go. If you have a minute or two, how did this session go? And I will put myself on mute. If someone wants to start, I will just write. Yeah.
One piece I like is how much depth there is to the politics of this, and it's getting complicated, but in a way that makes a lot of sense. Not complicated as in there's just a big pile of stuff we're trying to sort out, but there are these structures in place that we're learning. We're really, I hope, leaning into. So I'm really enjoying that.
I really like the social interactions that are happening. And I think there's a good variety of people for us to deal with. And I think there was the perfect amount of us coming up with the details that you asked us to come up with. And potential what's the word? Problems, issues. I forget what we try to say, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Kind of the future. Yeah, tensions can
Tension
definitely
stuff.
into these things.
Yeah. Some good tension stuff. I thought we were all pretty on point with that. I think we're really getting to the point where we're not afraid of really screwing ourselves over, right? With like just horrible things. Like we're really, really good at that now, I think. Which this game, like if this is a game like playing it like super smart and easy, like we would play something else. Like this is all about a game where we want that to be there, and I think we're getting really good at screwing each other over. So I love it.
Yeah, like Rachel could have been like, a Kraken is a tiny bunny, and the reason that it's so dangerous is that it will snuggle you to death. It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Cheetah with tentacles is where she went.
Acid tentacles, no less. Yeah. All right, politics, social interactions. Rachel, is there anything like more stuff you'd like to see that we're doing?
Um, no, I agree. I like just the balance of like tasks to do, and we're just making up what a kraken is, and I really like that element of just being able to throwing our own stuff and twists. I like how the twists are playing out. Um, anything I'd like to see more of? I don't think so.
Okay.
I think what it's grown into over the months of playing it has definitely clicks really well for me.
Yeah, right on. For me, I getting to playtest the reflection and rejuvenation period. I think that was fine. I don't know if it was super awesome yet. And some input from you guys would be great if you have like, because the whole idea is to have you guys do a conflict, at least one conflict roll to seed the pools. That's all we're doing,
Mhm.
right? Um, and I've tried to make it enough interesting, different stuff. But at the same time, it kind of feels like, well, this is just bookkeeping. You can just get rid of it and then go back to the idea where everyone just has to do a prologue thing. Like the
Yeah.
prologue thing works, right? We know that it
I think
works.
the most successful part of that was those two being able to bond.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing I think in the system where I want more of is us as characters being able to communicate and bond. Because even when we walked into that situation, we didn't talk about what we were going to do. We didn't come up with a cover story, any of that kind of stuff. We're just kind of thrown into the moment, which is great. I hate analysis paralysis. It's the worst in an RPG thing. I love jumping in, but at the same time, I think one of the reasons that Gareth is sort of being withdrawn, he's literally Eric's not getting that communication stuff, and so I'm kind of drawing on that, and I turned it in. Like they had a bonding moment. I didn't have a bonding moment. So I took my character that direction. Um, it's I think it's a fun role playing thing. I think the prelude. I think the downtime stuff could be more just your characters bonding, like the gambling for money part. I think there should be role playing and people talking, and it's always bonding. Sometimes you get bonding points, but I think it's a really good chance to like literally form bonds between characters that should be bonded, so that when they go into the next adventure, they have stakes and we know each other. All of that stuff, like just it's not even a mechanic. It's just a role playing thing, so that people
Yeah.
like each other and want to be part of a team.
That's interesting. Maybe you have to choose someone that, I mean, because there's all this downtime, right? Because you can live leisurely before you get your next job, and you're always worried about the calamity or whatever. Maybe it has to be like, do I give you prompts? That seems like a lot of work for the GM to have to do that every time. Or it could be just the same prompt, or like, here's 5 prompts to choose from. Like, what do two of you think the calamity is? And like move the
Yeah,
calamity ahead one.
yeah.
Or, hey, we need to bond. We need to build our bonds up. We're going to do this activity. It's like, okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. So think more about that for the next one. Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks everyone that's left.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah,
I had a real good time.
yeah, yeah. Me too. Yeah, I will just throw in that I think the downtime works, and I think we'll get better at it the more we practice it. I think just like in real life, sort of the quiet moments of reflection are where the growth happens, and so I appreciate sort of building that in rather than just sort of bumping from adventure to adventure to adventure and trying to shoehorn in some of these pieces. So I do like it. I think we'll get better at it as we go, but yeah, I think it works.
Okay. Right on.
Sorry if we missed something. Rachel thought the dog had ate something. We were
Oh,
chasing the dog.
oh,
She seems fine.
good. Good for Sally.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will say that the twist thing, experimenting that with the tension table worked. perfectly. That's exactly what we want to see happen for these big, dramatic, weird moments. So I'm really happy the way that turned out. The downtime, the reflections, rejuvenation, just needs some work. Last question I'll say, what did you think about the um what was it, sparking the warp or advancing the warp, the universal things that are happening out there?
In theory, yeah, it should be pretty cool.
Okay,
We'll see what comes back to bite us. You
right.
know what I mean?
So here's my thought. There's three levels of storytelling happening. Okay. You've got your overarching what's happening in the universe, right? And one of the things that we're talking about happening in the universe is the thing that you're all bonded over to stop or to make happen, whatever it is. Then there's right below that is the escapade. This is the adventure that you're on. Then below that is your untold story. If I can get it so your untold story gets linked to the escapade, which I think we're doing that just fine. I think that's happening already. Now, if we can get the escapade to then link to the higher level, to the calamity thing you're supposed to stop, then I would feel a lot better. And I need to figure that out. So that's why I was trying to keep track of like if anyone rolled four of a kind, whatever was happening in the scene right then related to the calamity in some way.
Mm.
And it advances the clock. So that's the idea.
Like the theory.
Yeah. And maybe it just needs to be three of a kind instead of four of a kind because we haven't hit a four of a kind yet. But I feel three of a kind might be too easy to do, but we'll see. Okay. We are all set for next week then. We've got some awesome queued up scenes to hammer through. Or not hammer through, but to enjoy. Um yeah. Thank you guys so much. I loved it. Have a great night.
Good night.